All right, let's try this again. I'm going to open it up on the computer this time and see if this works. Okay, wait, nope, that's the wrong one. So that's the previous stream. That's the one that didn't work. Here, I think this is the one, I want to say. Yeah. Okay. All right, so we've got an infinite mirror situation going on here, but we are indeed live. So, yeah, Chase, hello, welcome to the stream. So the reason the frame rate was so bad is because my laptop died, so I'm using an old spare laptop. And this thing is not very powerful. It does not have a discrete GPU, and it could not handle the streaming software. So I am now streaming directly from my phone, which means we will not have the chat overlay that we normally have, because there's no way to do that streaming directly from the phone as far as I'm aware. And also I'm going to have to carry this around, although actually I could probably just pop the camera off of here and put a phone holder on it. Maybe I'll do that. Alright, one sec. Let me find the tripod phone holder thingy. I'm glad I figured out that that wasn't working before we got too far into the stream. Hello, Robert. Yeah, tripod with a phone holder is a decent setup. I think that's what I'm going to do for this stream. I have this phone holder that I can just screw onto the tripod. So if I put that on here, and then like so, now I should be able to aim this just like I do with the regular camera, and we should be good to go. I'm going to get this started, but once it's started, I'm going to mute it. Also, I will not be able to zoom in quite like I normally do, because there's no optical zoom on the phone, obviously. So I may take it off the tripod and move it around more often. Actually, let's see. Can I zoom in? Wow, that... On here, at least, that looked like absolutely horrible image quality. We'll see. Yeah, it looks like that on YouTube, too. Okay, I'm going to zoom back out. I'm actually going to zoom all the way out. And you know what we can do now, because the camera is mobile, is we can get some interesting new angles by putting it on the layout. So I can put it here, for instance. See, the problem is going to be reading the chat while I'm using the camera, but before we get too far with that, I want to watch this run by on the computer and make sure it's somewhat smooth. It's not perfectly smooth. I'm seeing a little bit of lagging still, but I think that's about as good as it's going to get. At least until I get a new laptop. So what happened to the laptop, I'm actually not 100% sure. I was using it, it was working perfectly fine, and then it just suddenly went completely dark. No power, nothing, no lights. Plugging it in didn't bring up any lights. Resetting it didn't fix it. My best theory is that some aspect of the internal power supply died. I'm not certain, but nothing that I could figure out would get it going again. None of the normal things that usually worked. So I've decided to just cut my losses and get a new laptop. It was kind of getting to be time for a new one anyway, because the one that I had was an Asus TUF F15 gaming laptop, which seemed like a great deal when I first bought it, because it was significantly cheaper than most of the other gaming laptops, but I figured out in fairly short order why it was so much cheaper, and that's because the build quality on those is kind of trash. I actually ended up having to replace the entire outer case a few months back because the original one was cracking so badly that the thing was just falling apart at the seams. And it seemed fine, but yeah, it lasted me about 3.5 years, and that was it. So I'm currently using an old ThinkPad because it's the spare one that I had lying around. This is normally my travel laptop. It does okay at watching YouTube, but not much else. And I'm looking at used laptops for sale. I'm probably going to get something along the lines of a Lenovo Legion 5, a slightly nicer gaming laptop. Let's see. Lore video about the Westport and Shoulder Cove. I got to do that one of these days. I've kind of kept the lore deliberately vague because a lot of people in the comments seem to have their own theories, and I don't want anybody's lore to conflict with anybody else's lore, so I'm fine with everybody having their own version of the lore. Chase, yes, I do have a GoPro, but I don't know of a way to connect it to the stream. I have a Hero 8 Black, and I have used this in some videos before. In which one was it? I think it was the Bachmann 280 review. I put this on a train. But I don't think it really has a way to stream video. So I don't think I'm going to be able to do that, unfortunately. Oh, no worries, Chessie. Have a good vacation. Yeah, selfie stick's good. Bachmann DCC system, like the Easy Command one. I have not tried it personally, but from the videos I've seen, it seems like it doesn't really offer a whole lot of features. And for not that much more money, you could get like an actual legit DCC system, like a power cab. So unless you get one basically for free, I wouldn't bother with the Easy Command. It's a very, like, as something that comes with a train set, it's fine. But if you're like actually going to use it on a layout, I would spend a little bit more and get a power cab. Stream through the GoPro app. I'll have to try that once I get the new laptop. Right now, I'm literally just streaming directly from the phone. So the only I can't add more sources. The only thing I can use is the phone camera, as far as I know. All right, have a good one, Chessie. Wireless power cab. Yeah, we can do that. I have no experience with those either, but they seem decent. Oh, the RC helicopter. I haven't actually unpacked that since the move. That's still in a box somewhere. Actually, I might know where that is. Here. No, not in that one. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure where that is. No, Train Fan. As far as I can tell, it is not related to the cat incident. If any damage was going to come from that, it would have been the screen. But the screen, as far as I'm aware, was fine. It was the power supply that died. And I have a feeling that it had been probably on its way out for a while. Because not that long ago, one of the power supply plug-in brick things ate itself. It like got really, really hot and then stopped working. And I thought that it was just because it was a cheap aftermarket power brick off of Amazon, but now I'm wondering if some part of the computer's power supply overloaded it. Hello, Southwest. Day's been going all right, except for the laptop situation. Yeah, Kevin Jenner. Maybe I'll on the next stream. Hopefully, I'll have a laptop sorted out by then. Maybe then I'll see if I can figure out the GoPro, because that would be a cool idea. If not, maybe I could just put the phone on a train. I could certainly do that in O scale. Matter of fact, we can actually do both HO and O scale tonight because the camera is mobile. Also, would you ever extend your HO layout? Yeah, actually, I've debated the idea of adding like a logging branch that goes along the wall this way. It's just a question of getting it past the window. So, not something I'm going to do immediately, but possibly. Anyway, what I'm coming to is that we might have a surprise guest tonight. I'm not guaranteeing anything yet, but the plan is that Peter, aka the Berkshire Mainline, is going to come over in a little bit and bring one of his locomotives that we can run. Opinions on the Bachmann K4. The original first gen one from like 1988 had some major issues, but as far as I know, all the ones after that are pretty decent. Like the current one is certainly good. Pretty much everything Bachmann makes now is pretty solid. Now, one thing is I did not think to charge the phone before I started this, because I was hoping to be able to use the laptop. So I am going to plug it in, which will tether it somewhat to the desk. Best model manufacturer, that's a loaded question. I'm not sure there is a single best model manufacturer. I mean, they all have... most of them have made good products at one point or another. Most of them have made duds. I can't think of a manufacturer that's just universally good. But I also can't think of one that's universally bad, except maybe early Lifelike. But even then, like the Proto 2000 stuff was technically under the Lifelike name, and that was great, so... I tend to buy a lot of Bachmann stuff because they make most of the small steam that's available in HO. But they're certainly not the only one who's made good small steam, and as everybody knows, Bachmann has had some duds in the past. Favorite model? That varies by the day. Currently, I am quite partial to my custom Bachmann Spectrum 440, which the phone is... Oh, there we go. Wow, you can see both pixels of it. Brilliant. I'll have to move the camera closer. But, yeah, a lot of the Bachmann Spectrum stuff was really good. New Bachmann 460, there really isn't enough to judge yet. Like, literally all we have is some catalog illustrations that are just the same as the N-scale one. So I'm reserving judgment until we see actual pre-production prototypes. But with that said, I am very excited about it. I think we have been overdue for another 19th century engine in HO for a good long while. And I'm sure whatever they come up with, I'm probably going to buy. Trying to make Crown Metal Products 440 locomotives in HO. Well, I'll have to look those up. Roundhouse 440. So the thing with the Roundhouse 440 is there were two generations of it. There was the old one, which was basically just an MDC mogul kit with one of the driver axles removed in a four-wheel pallet truck. That was introduced right before they stopped making the kits, so there are not very many of them out there. If you can find one, pretty much all of the advice that anyone that you get for the 260 would also apply to the 440. The other generation was in the early 2000s. That was the ready-to-run Roundhouse one made by Athearn, and you could get those with sound. And those, if you get a good one, are nice. The problem is a lot of them had zinc rot, which would cause the frame to crack and crumble, and the whole thing just fell apart. I haven't seen that much on the 280s, haven't seen it much on the moguls, but I have yet to find one of the 440s for sale that doesn't show signs of zinc rot. So I think they had a bad batch of metal. So be very cautious buying one of those, because if you get one with zinc rot, it's basically worthless. HL trains, the short heavyweights, the ones I'm running right now, are made by Rivarossi. They are, I don't think they're in production anymore, but you can find them on the used market. If you just search like Rivarossi 60-foot commuter cars, you should be able to find them. The turntable. Yeah, the turntable is kind of an ongoing project that I haven't had time to work on in a while. I wasn't planning on adding more tracks, but I guess technically I could if I wanted to. I don't know, I kind of like there being enough of a gap between the engines that you can see the sides of them on camera. Also, I'm noticing, even in HD, that the image quality is really not that good when I'm looking at this on the monitor. Certainly not compared to the camera that I normally use, so I really got to get the laptop situation sorted out. Oh, good, Robert. Yeah, what was the solution for that? Yeah, these Rivarossi ones, when they do come up for sale, they tend to get snapped up pretty quick. Oh, okay, Robert. Yeah, that makes sense. BLI tends to do that. They tend to use different decoder functions than everybody else for the same stuff. So it can be really annoying. Oh yeah, the scale trains Berkshire I'm cautiously optimistic for. The old MTH one definitely had some issues. Hopefully Scale Trains has solved those, but it has a lot of promise. My friend Peter, who I think is hopefully going to be joining us later, has completely rebuilt one of those MTH Berks, but out of the box it had some pretty major issues. Because of the smoke unit, the weight distribution was way too far back in the engine. I think it was too far. Wait, was it too far forward? No, it was too far back because they had to make room for the smoke unit. The smoke unit doesn't weigh very much, so it would constantly pick up the front drivers on curves. It was very annoying. What we ended up doing was taking the smoke unit out and just packing the boiler full of weight, and that fixed it. I think we had to mess with the spring on the trailing truck, too. Also, Kevin Jenner, going back to the Roundhouse 440, if you want like a sort of modern-ish looking 440 along those lines, the Bachmann Spectrum one is generally a safer bet. The proportions aren't exactly the same, but it's, I would say, probably a more reliable runner. Well, if you get a good Roundhouse one, they're a decent, reliable runner. The problem is, it's really hard to find a good one because most of them have zinc rot. So unless like you can see it in person, you can examine it and verify that the frame is solid and doesn't have any even slight signs of cracking, I don't think I would buy one online. I bought one online once, and it was just a mess. I wonder if there's any way to tell how much battery the phone has. No, I'm just going to leave it plugged in. Yeah, Kevin, I think the Spectrum would probably be a safer bet, because a Spectrum I would feel comfortable buying online and knowing there's a reasonably good chance that it's going to be okay. The Roundhouse ones, I have not had any luck with. What's up, Tristan? Hello, BD Vids. I'm amazed at how quiet this thing runs with the sound off. This is literally like a 50-year-old Mantua kit. And all I did was swap the motor. Well, and put DCC in it. Tristan, let me get back to you on that. I'll have to see what I'm up to Sunday, but quite possibly. I should put something on the drive-in. Oof, yeah. Shays are kind of a nightmare no matter who makes them, if I'm honest. I ended up selling my Spectrum Shay because trying to work on the stupid thing was driving me up the wall. If you want to run geared steam in HO, just get a Rivarossi Heisler and call it a day. I have yet to encounter an HO Shay. Okay, yeah, the BLI one does look nice. Don't have any experience in person with those yet. I've just seen them at train shows. They do look pretty solid. But of the ones that I have actually had a chance to mess with, I've yet to find an HO Shay that is worth the trouble. But yeah, I think if any of them are going to be decent, it would be the BLI one. Or possibly the new Bachmann one. Supposedly they've improved it, but... I can't say for sure. Oh, nice, Tristan. Yeah, so actually... Yeah, stealth one of those. I guess if you want a good running Shay in HO, that would probably be the one to get, is the BLI one. Just get the stealth version, because Paragon decoders are hot steaming garbage. Why is this not playing? There we go. Yeah, HL trains. I saw those at Amherst the last winter. I mean, just looking at them, they look the same as the old Shays, but I am told that they've upgraded the materials and the gears. So they should be fine now. But I'm not particularly eager to find out, especially for the price they're asking. Oh, I forgot Roundhouse made a climax. Is Peter gonna throw the switch to me? We will find out when he gets here. He should be here in probably, well, between half an hour and more than half an hour. Yeah, I wonder what old videos we might have that could play. Vintage Renewed, I still need to put your footage on there. I have not gotten around to updating the files that are on that media player. And I think if I did try to do that on this laptop, it might crash and explode. But I'll try and remember to do that for the next stream. I put a couple of videos on there when I first got that hooked up, and I have not gotten around to updating them. Oh, nice, Robert. I like those names. They suit the color scheme of your railroad pretty well. I'm going to run to the bathroom. As always, everybody behave. Or don't. But I would prefer if you did. I'll be right back. All right, how's the behavior? Wow, people are actually being civil and nice to each other. I am pleasantly surprised. Please keep that up. That's the good stuff. That's what we want. Yeah, Tristan, you can be in charge of the stream. Actually, I should make you a mod. You can be in charge of the stream when I'm out of the room. HO narrow gauge would be super cool. I'm just not sure where on the layout I would fit it. Also, HO narrow gauge is super expensive. I've looked into what it would take to do HON3. Goat Creations, thinking about remotoring a Teco 460. Check out the video that I posted recently about how to mount the motor. I think that'll make it a lot easier. As far as wiring, if you're just going to run DC, just wire it up the same as the old motor. One leg of the motor goes to the frame, the other one goes to the tender frame. And then wire the light in parallel with that. If you're using an LED, make sure it's the right way around so that it comes on when you're going forward, and put a resistor in series. I would use a 1K resistor. But yeah, as far as the motor goes, if you're just running DC, just connect it the same as the old one. One side goes to the frame, one side goes to the tender frame. Also, I'm making some tea, and I'm doing that now while the cat is downstairs because she really does not like the noise of the tea kettle. I turned it on last night, and she was running all over the place trying to figure out where the noise was coming from. Hello, Sebastian. HON30 would definitely be the cheapest if you're willing to do some kit bashing, because you can use N-scale mechanisms. If I ever do end up doing HO narrow gauge, it'll probably be that. I'll just find some N-scale steam engines and kit bash them into what I want. What I am thinking about doing is trying to squeeze an N-scale loop onto the O-gauge layout somewhere, because in O-gauge, N-scale works out to about the size of one of those live steam rideable amusement park trains that are like 24 or 18-inch gauge. So I could have like a little amusement park set up with O-scale figures on the N-scale train. HON2 would be interesting as well. Yeah, Tristan, we should absolutely do that. That would be a cool subject for a video. That reminds me, I went to some small garden railway show a couple months ago, and I took some video of one of my G-scale engines running around their outdoor layout, and I forgot to upload it. I should do something. I should figure out what I did with that footage and do something with it. Yeah, JW, I've seen that before. I don't remember which layout I saw it on, but I definitely saw that somebody else had done it, and that's what inspired me to do it. But again, like the ON30 line, I didn't think of that when I was actually designing the layout, so I filled up all the available space with standard gauge tracks, so now I got to figure out how to do that on like a vertically separated level. Funny you mention F units, Chase, because I actually have an N-scale F unit that I've been debating what to do with. Railroad Museum of Long Island. Oh, I should add that to my list of places to visit. Yeah, I'm thinking I might do that, Chase. The other thing I wanted to do was get the new Bachmann N Scale 460 and use that, because I mostly am just doing something N Scale as an excuse to get one of those. But I do have a couple of other N Scale steam engines stashed away for this purpose as well. Let's see, at least one of them is up here. Yeah, I have one of the Roundhouse Moguls. This one was made up of spare parts from 2 non-working Roundhouse Moguls. I made one good one out of it. Technically, there's parts from, I think, 3 or 4 of them in here. And then the other one is a Model Power 440, which I'd have to move some stuff to dig out. 722, surprisingly, is completely fine. I haven't run it, but I managed to catch the engine. It was just the tender that fell, and the main thing I was worried about was steps breaking off, but as far as I can tell, none did. So I think it survived pretty much unscathed. Any N-scale steam you're looking into selling? I don't know. I guess I don't need all of these. I would have to decide which one to sell. Is there a specific one you're interested in? Let me pull down what I've got for N-scale steam here. I'll dig out that Model Power one. So at the moment, I have 3 working N-scale steam engines. I've got this Model Power Modern 440. I have this Roundhouse Mogul that I just showed. And I have this Bachmann 280. All of these I've tested. All of 2 of these are made up of parts from 2 other engines. The 440 is as I bought it. But I've tested all 3 of them. They all run really nice. They're all plain DC. If I was going to sell one, I'm not sure which one it would be. Model Power 440. I'll have to look up what these go for. I'm not sure yet if I actually want to let this one go. I don't remember how much I paid for it. But I'll do a little research. Anyone who's interested in N-scale steam, if you're serious about it, send me an email, redoutcranes@gmail.com, and I'll see if I can figure out what I would want for each of these. Because, like, realistically, for what I'm going to do with N-scale, I probably don't need 3 steam engines. Well, 4 if I end up getting the new Bachmann one. So it probably would make sense to let one of these go. Alright, Peter should be here sometime approximately in the next half hour. Yeah, Vintage Renewed, I do need all the steam engines. See, that's the thing, is, like, realistically, I really like all of these that I've collected, and I would like to keep them all. But, ultimately, I don't really need all of them. I'm probably not going to get around to running all of them in any reasonable fashion. How do I do the decal work? Oh, I hate decals. Honestly, what I do on most of my models is just use one of those Brother electronic label makers, where you just punch in text and set the size and font and it pumps out a label. If you do it right, you can finesse it enough that they look pretty passable. Let me stop the train over here and I'll give you a close-up on the one on this engine. I do want to build an actual N-scale layout at some point. I had a half-built one that I actually ended up selling because I made the grades too steep and it didn't really suit the small engines I wanted to run. But I do want to build another one at some point. Whether that ends up being the same one as the one that's built into the O-scale layout remains to be seen. So as far as the label makers go, that decal, if you look at it at the right angle, you can see the outline of the label. You can't clear coat over these to even out the finish because they're very slippery plastic. The clear coat will just flake off. But if you cut right around the edge of the text and don't go over any rivets, you can get them to look pretty seamless. I think I covered this in a video a while back. It was like how to decorate a steam locomotive, or how I decorate HO steam, something along those lines. Oh yeah, N scale set for travel entertainment's a good idea. 100 locomotives. Yeah, I haven't quite done that many yet. Oh, a module would be interesting. I'd have to find a club that would let me connect to their layout. I think it's the camera off the main line. I mean, it is a little bit Jimothy scale just because these little logging prairies are very short because they're designed to go around super tight curves. But if you look up like McLeod River Railroad number 25, that's kind of Jimothy scale in real life, and that's more or less the sort of engine that this is based on. Most of the actual like rubber ruler Jimothy scale stuff is in G or O, mostly G. Also, I love that Jimothy scale has just become a term that we all know what it means. Oh yeah, I did see the Willamette for Railroader. The day you start doing N scale is the day I stop watching. I don't know. I'll probably just end up doing the little park train setup on the O gauge layout. I don't think I'm ever going to be a serious N scaler because I've dabbled with it on and off over the years, and I just can't really keep the enthusiasm going. It's just too tiny. In my mind, the bigger trains just have more lasting entertainment value. Yeah, Vintage Renewed Idaho might be a little far. I'm in Massachusetts, and the last time I drove from the West Coast to the East Coast, it took me 9 days. So that might be a bit far to go just for a train show. But hey, if you ever want to bring it out here, probably harder to come all this way with an entire layout. I wonder where the cat is. Maybe I'll see if I can find her. She's probably downstairs somewhere. I'll see if I can find her when Peter gets here. JW, these are 18-inch radius curves. Okay, yard sounds okay. So there's a raccoon named Jimothy who's been very popular on the internet in the past couple weeks because he's very short. I think he has some kind of spine deformity that makes him like. He's like the width and height of a normal raccoon, but like half the length. So it's sort of become a thing to refer to things that like look kind of cartoonishly shortened. In that way, the raccoon's name is Jimothy. So I've started referring to models that are like that, where like they're kind of scaled with inconsistent proportions. Like a lot of G scale stuff is like full scale width, scale height, but really short, so it can go around sharp curves. So I've started referring to that as Jimothy scale. And it can be any scale. It's just any model that is proportionally shorter than the other dimensions, I call Jimothy scale. Because it looks like a raccoon. Yeah, Brandon, these curves definitely favor small locomotives. I think the plan is for Peter to bring his Mohawk, which is I want to say a 482. Why do I not know what a Mohawk is? I'm having a brain... Yeah, it's a 482. I'm having a brain malfunction right now. But we'll see if that will make it around the layout. I think there's about a 50-50 chance. I know for a fact that a Bachmann GS4 will not make it around this layout. Um, yeah, Tristan. Okay, so I don't think there's a way for me to show it on stream right now, but recently Tristan and some friends came over and we ran a Broadway Union Pacific FEF 484 on this layout, and against all predictions, it actually made it all the way around without derailing. So we will see if the Mohawk can do that as well. If it can, then I will... Antuni, the G-Scale Bachmann one, I believe, is actually based on the Tweetsy 460, the East Tennessee and Western North Carolina one, and it's actually dimensionally pretty darn close for that. It's not far off from the Rio Grande Southern one, but if you look at them next to each other, it's slightly closer to the Tweetsy one. It does look quite long, because most G-scale stuff is jimothyed to a certain degree. So having something correctly scaled looks really long. Yes, Bryn, this is a Mantua Prairie, somewhat heavily modified. It has a different tender. It's obviously got a CAN motor and DCC in it. But yes, it's a Mantua Prairie. Oh, Antuni, I think you might be thinking of like the backdated version. Like, I'll show you the one I've got down here. So this is the one that I turned into the Back to the Future engine for a video a while back. So the overall dimensions are still based on the Tweetsy one, but it has a cab that I think is Rio Grande Southern based, and the fluted domes, I don't know if those are Rio Grande Southern based as well or just generic. But yeah, they had like an 1800s version, which had the wooden cab and the fluted domes on the box headlight. And then they had the regular version, which was more directly based on the Tweetsy, that had a steel cab and regular domes. So the backdated version doesn't exactly match anything. It's pretty close for Rio Grande Southern. But it has like the same boiler and chassis as the Tweetsy one. They just replaced the cab and the domes and the headlight and a few other bits and pieces. So it's basically a Tweetsy dressed up as Rio Grande Southern. But the only prototype accurate one is the Tweetsy one. With that said, the cab on the Tweetsy one is actually not quite accurate because the real one's a deckless engine, and they didn't model the back of the cab. I guess maybe when they were making it, they forgot to take photos of that or something. So the back of the cab's just open. It doesn't have like the wall and windows back there. Yeah, Antuni, the backdated version is honestly a decently close stand-in for a Rio Grande Southern engine. One of these days, I want to turn one into a fully accurate Rio Grande Southern, make a very slightly bigger cab. Like, the width and height off the rails are about right, but the Rio Grande Southern cabs extend down a little bit below the running boards, which this one doesn't. And I might have to make custom domes to get those exactly right and shorten the smoke box a bit. But I've looked at the blueprints, and I actually, if you consider it a very slightly larger scale, like it's built to 1 to 22.5 scale. If you scale it to approximately, I think like 1 to 21 point something, then like the wheelbase and everything matches up almost perfectly for Rio Grande Southern. You just got to mess with the cab and the smoke box to get it exactly right, and obviously you need a different tender. Yes, off the main line, I do have a 3D printer. I would have to 3D print a cab, and I would have to 3D print domes and stuff like that. The other thing I want to do eventually is build, pretty much completely scratch build, a G-scale model of Sierra number 3 using 3D printed parts, with big hauler wheels and drivetrain. I'd have to like change the driver spacing and everything. Where's Sheriff? He's still over by the station. Thoughts on Bachmann's upcoming Sierra 3? We really don't know enough about it yet for me to have thoughts. We don't know what the actual prototype's going to be. The rumors that I'm hearing are that it'll be based on the same prototype as the N-scale one, but more accurate to the dimensions. So it'll still be a Union Pacific prototype, but the dimensions will be close enough to Sierra 3 that it could probably be made into a passable model of it. And obviously they're gonna letter it as Sierra 3. So we'll see. I don't think it's going to be a fully accurate CR3, but it'll be a heck of a lot better than nothing, and certainly better than the old oversized Tyco version. Oh, Peter's heading over. Awesome. See you soon, Peter. Let me know when you're here, and I'll come downstairs. Yeah, the new N-Scale 460 does look a little bit large for the intended prototype. I think they had to fudge the dimensions a little bit to fit the motor into it. But it does definitely look close to a lot of prototypes from that era. I'm surprised that actually, because I think the Union Pacific had like the next size up of 10-wheelers that are almost a perfect match for the model. It's just Bachmann, for whatever reason, chose to still number it with the number from the smaller one that they had originally planned to use. So it may end up being like a hodgepodge of features from the two of them. But I do really like the proportions of the N-scale one. I almost kind of wish, if they're not going to do a straight-up CR3, that they would do the HO one as just a shrunk-down version of the N-scale one, because I really like how it looks. But I'm sure whatever they do will be good. The Prairie's doing great, Southern Pacific. Like, for being like a 50-year-old kit that I had to basically fabricate the motor mount for, it runs really, really nice. Like you can hear, it's basically silent. It pulls really nice because it's got a traction tire. I think it probably suits freight trains and like logging trains, but I'm running it with passenger cars just for a little variety. Yeah, we do need more 19th century steam. The Bachmann G-Scale Anniversary Edition is, I would say yes, it is a good model. It does have a little bit of an Achilles heel, which is that on the center driver axle, there is a plastic piece holding the two halves of the axle together, kind of like there was on the old Bachmann HO ones, and over time that tends to crack. And when that happens, the center drive wheels become a bit loose. Frequently, they won't fall off entirely, and you'll still be able to just run it. And you can probably just epoxy them back on. On mine, I just pull that out and make a new 3D printed one. But if you don't have a 3D printer, you can probably just glue the axles into the old one and it'll be fine. Thankfully, it is keyed. It is a square end, so it'll automatically align itself. You don't have to worry about quartering. But yeah, other than that, they are honestly a really solid, good-looking, really robust, smooth-running engine. If you can find one for under like $350 in good running shape, I would go for it. I wouldn't say they're quite like on the level of LGB, but they're certainly good. They're one of the better commonly available G-scale steam engines. And unlike a lot of G-scale stuff, they are not Jimothy scale. They are correctly scaled in 1:22.5 for a Tweety 460. Just make sure that what you get is actually an anniversary edition. If it has the metal side rods, you're good. If it's got plastic side rods, then you'll have to do a bit of detective work to figure out what gearbox it has, and more than likely it won't be worth getting. But metal side rods is pretty much a guarantee that it has the good gearbox. With that said, I wouldn't try to pull as much with those as I would with like an LGB, because I believe at least some of the earlier anniversary editions do still have plastic gears. But honestly, I have worked mine into the ground and I've never had an issue with the gears, only that center driver axle. And they're very kit bashable. So if you want to build custom engines, they're a good starting point. 262s are definitely underrated and underrepresented in the model market. Yeah, Brandon, BLI electronics are not good. Southern Pacific, I believe the plastic boilered Prairie is mostly identical to the metal boilered one. Literally, the boiler's the only difference. And matter of fact, the plastic one actually is easier to fit a working headlight to, so there are some advantages to it. I think it's more detailed as well. And Toonie, that's pretty much exactly what I want to do with one of mine. I have a number of... Well, I probably have at least a couple more big haulers and spare parts floating around. But yeah, I do want to build a Rio Grande Southern one at some point. I'm just not sure exactly which one I'm going to use for a donor chassis yet for that. Yeah, Chase, I think all of them except the latest generation come with like the analog chugging sound. They never sounded great. They improved them over the years a little bit. But they're never... They've like... The original ones just went like... It was literally just a hiss sound that it turned on and off. And the later ones, they made it so it kind of fades in and out, so it's like... Still doesn't sound amazing, but it's better than the early one. It's still only 2 chefs per revolution, although you can fix that. But once you get like actual good digital sound, you never want to go back. Oh yeah, the early chuff. I've had a couple with the early chuff, and it's just not even worth trying to make it run. I just take the 9-volt battery out. Brand new BLI 844. Ran for 2 weeks and burnt out. Sadly, that is not an uncommon story with BLI stuff. I've heard that way too many times. The Casey Jones... Okay, yeah, the Casey Jones one must have been when they first introduced the new chuff. Because I got one... The first anniversary edition one I got for my 12th birthday. It was a Christmas one. And that had the later chuff that like fades in and out. And that was in, I guess it would have been 2009-ish. So they must have updated the electronics by then. I don't know exactly when they did. It had plastic gears, but it had the metal side rods and the full wall shirts valve gear. I still have that one, sort of. I eventually got tired of the Christmas shell and put a Bumblebee Denver and Rio Grande shell on it, but I do still have, it does still have the same chassis. So technically, about half of this big hauler is my original one that I got when I was 12. The chassis is original, the wheels are original, the valve gear's original. I just put a different shell on it because I wanted a different color scheme, and that was the easiest way to do that. This one is currently being used as a test mule for my water-based smoke units. But even though you can see there's a fair bit of slop in the gears that's developed over... Well, they have a certain amount of slop from the factory. This one has a little bit of extra slop because it has so much runtime on it. But it still runs perfectly smooth and quiet, and it still pulls well. Hasn't really given me any trouble. The only thing I've really had to do, again, was that center driver axle. That cracked, so I just made a 3D printed one for it. Brandon, for Mantua engines, so usually I would do $50 labor for a motor swap, another $50 for a DCC install, and another $50 if you want sound. So the full package, motor, DCC, sound, is $150 labor per engine, not counting parts. If you just want DCC, no sound, it would be $100 per engine. If you just want a motor, no DCC, $50 per engine. And that's labor only, so you would just add cost of the parts on top of that. Usually it's around 30 to 40 bucks for the motor kit. And then the price for the DCC parts depends on which brand of decoder you want to use. Oh, no worries, Southern Pacific. Yeah, I am a big fan of this engine. If you've got the plastic one, it'll be much easier to swap out those parts. I am reliably informed that an IHC Mogul smokebox front will fit on it. And that being the case, I would venture to guess that a Bachmann Decapod smokebox front might also fit on it, because I'm pretty sure those are about the same size. I know the Bachmann one will fit on the IHC Mogul with a little bit of filing, so I would assume it would fit on the Mantua, but I don't know if they're exactly the same size, so not sure. Probably, though. Actually, you know what? We can find out, because I have a Mantua, or not Mantua, sorry, I have an IHC Mogul with a Bachmann Decapod face on it, so we can compare that to... Oh, except this is the die-cast boiler, so it won't be the exact same diameter as the plastic one, because they are different tooling. But I think it's close enough that you could probably make it work. There's definitely lots of options. And yeah, tender change would be good. I changed the tender on this one because the tenders that they come with are way too large for the engine. 260 could work. The grooves. Yeah, I had to file the little ridges off, I think, to get it to fit. I don't remember exactly how that worked, but it's probably going to require a little bit of filing regardless. But as long as it's about the same diameter, you can make it work. Yellow and black engine with yellow and black coaches. The yellow and black engine, I don't think is running right now. I don't remember exactly what the state of that is, but I think the decoder needs some programming. We could try it, but it might, like, the chuffs might not be synced up right. The 460 I got from the 2024 train show. Which one was that? Oh, that was like the East Broadtop one, right? I don't think I'm going to use that for number 13 because it's a low boiler with the small drivers. I'm going to look for one of those high boiler ones with the big drivers for the new 13. We can try the Bumblebee. I'm pretty sure that currently has a decoder in it out of a Bachmann Hudson, and I haven't reprogrammed it. So it's going to have Hudson sounds, and they're probably not going to be synced up right. Well, let's try it. I'm not going to put this train in the siding just yet, because I don't know if this is going to work. So, okay, address is still set to 3. Still has what is presumably a New York Central whistle. Let's see what happens if I give it some throttle. Oop. Wow, the chuff stick's actually not that far off. Yeah, we can run it like that. I thought it would be way worse than that. Okay, let me pull the Prairie into the yard. Wow, we've been streaming for an hour already. I'll probably turn the sound back on for this. If we're going to run the Bumblebee, then obviously I'm going to run the Bumblebee coaches with it. Let's see, can I squeeze past the Prairie here to get these coaches out? Probably. The yard's getting a bit crowded, but let's see what we can do. It's doing that weird thing that TCS does sometimes where it'll keep muting it and unmuting itself randomly. That's very annoying. I don't know why it does that, but I've noticed that on a lot of TCS raw sound decoders. Alright. Blasphemous Hudson whistle. I don't know why TCS WoW Sound does that, but I've noticed that on a lot of them, is it'll just randomly mute and unmute itself. I may just go ahead and mute it so that we don't have to worry about it. Nope, and of course, that means it is still going to continue unmuting and remuting itself, which is very annoying. I wish I knew why it was doing that. I'm just going to have to keep manually muting it again. Chase, these red coaches are Riverossi. I custom painted those. These are Roundhouse. They were Central Pacific. I just relettered them. Anyway, I forget who wanted to see the Bumblebee run, but here you go. Yeah, the sound is go for a little under 5 minutes. I can stand it longer if it's really nice quality sound, but I do end up muting these. Like, I feel like when you're accelerating and switching in the yard and stuff, sound is cool. If you're just running continuously for a long time, it gets a little monotonous. Gilded Rail, there are closer sound files than this one. Soundtracks has some actual Rio Grande sounds that would be pretty close. What I should do is just put a Soundtracks decoder in this. But yeah, we could just do B-movie sound clips. Is the B-movie still a meme? Do people still reference that? I haven't been paying attention to the state of B-movie memes. I never actually watched the entire movie because, honestly, I find Jerry Seinfeld really annoying. Have a good one, Brandon. Dang, 5:45 a.m. That is a little bit too early. Only time I'm awake at that time is if I've been up all night working on something. Also, you may have noticed the anchor is gone. It's been replaced with a giant railroad spike. That's because the plastic anchor has been broken for a while. And it just looked bad enough that I just removed it. This spike is, I believe, a quarter scale spike. I was given this as a kid by one of the guys working at Sonoma Train Town in California, which is a quarter scale rideable live steam railroad. I went there once as a kid and it was awesome, and I got a little tour of the shops, and the guy gave me one of their little mini railroad spikes. So I've had this ever since. So that is now taking the place of the anchor. Real rust. Southern Pacific, I would consider adding lining to some of the other engines, but the Prairie is meant to represent more kind of a workhorse, like 1920s logging engine, so I think it would be... I don't think realistically it would have a ton of lining. I don't know, maybe like just an outline around the edge here. Oh yeah, this is when I met Lightning McQueen at the Peterson Museum. I should have a lightning hidden on the layout somewhere. I don't. Watch me get copyright claimed by Disney for showing my own footage of Lightning McQueen. Oh, I gotta plug the computer in. Yeah, there definitely were that had some that had more lining than this. Honestly, mostly the reason this doesn't have any lining is that it's a huge pain to add. You have to like make custom water slide decals, and it's just a massive pain in the neck. I would like it to have a little bit more lining than it does, but it's just not worth the trouble. Come on, camera, stay put. There we go. Oh, was there a brass 280 that looked like this one? Or a 440? None of the engines currently on the layout are brass, but I have modified a lot of them. You can actually see most of the layout from this angle. HL trains, the one in the foreground is not a Pinto. I believe this is an Escort, but this one over here, the white one, is a Pinto. Or actually, it might be a Mercury Bobcat, but it's the exact same car. Any luck painting brass? My only experience painting brass is just painting over the factory paint. So as far as like actually stripping brass down and repriming it and everything, I have no advice there, unfortunately. The Bachmann Hudson, I am a big fan of the Bachmann Hudson. I have not gotten one yet because I'm not super confident that it can handle the curves on this layout. But if I get a chance to test one before committing to buy it, and it could handle the curves, then I might consider getting one. Oh, Peter's just about here. All right, Peter, I'll come downstairs momentarily. Hold on. Oh, somebody posted my layout on Eric Strain's Discord. All right, folks, behave. I'll be right back. Tristan, if you're still here, you're in charge. If you're not, it's anarchy. they've been pretty well behaved thus far on the stream.
Hello, stream.
All right, folks, we have both of our guests.
Oh.
We've got Table Walker and Peter.
Hello, I'm here. Just walked all the way from school to here, and I brought some fun stuff to run tonight.
Let me see you with the chats. I need logging equipment. I do have a couple of log cars on the freight train. Does the camera move when the engine passes? It might be doing something weird there.
Oh, Moon.
Yeah.
With the train. You were so cute.
She has an interesting relationship with trains.
You guys in the chat, this is my first time seeing Moon. Oh, you're adorable.
She's usually pretty good about not... Ooh, don't do that, please. She's usually pretty good about not damaging stuff on the layout. I realize I picked a bad time to say that. But she does like to follow the trains around.
Alright.
Alright, what do you got?
I brought the recently completed
Very nice.
MTH Mohawk, and I brought some pacemakers and a caboose to go with it.
Ah, excellent.
So we'll be able to run a good-looking freight train. So let's see here.
The stream on the computer screen is delayed by several seconds because that's watching the stream on YouTube. I'm streaming directly from the phone.
All right. Well, that's how it came out in the end.
Dang, that's nice. Chaos in the background.
It'd be probably hard to demonstrate to the stream, but the engineer is holding a throttle.
Nice.
Which is cool. It's another detail I added. Yeah, so article that I'm writing about this for the New York Central System Historical Society is just about done. The photo shoot has been done as well, so that's all good. And you guys will see something about that soon.
Very nice.
And it looks like the deck plate has fallen off, but that's fine. Easy to fix.
Happens.
Yeah. Just like that.
All right. Well, somebody wanted to see the Bumblebee train run, so I'm running that. But we can.
On the side track, I'll set this thing up.
We can pull that back.
Is it on DC or DCC right now?
DCC.
Okay, cool. So it should be good for this setup.
What we can do actually is just we'll pull the Bumblebee train into the far track there by the station.
Okay.
And then set yours up on the near track. Do you mind throwing that switch right there?
Yeah, of course. Moon's going to explore again. Oh my gosh, new box.
New trains to sniff.
Right? New smells.
Yeah.
For me walking, being all tired. Alright, let's see here. Hello, kitty. Stretching on the track.
Yeah. I really don't want her to develop...
Well, I hope
it's
that's fine, right?
Yeah, it's fine. I really don't want her to develop a habit of scratching on the ballast because that's going to destroy it in short order. We did buy her a cat tree.
Nice.
And she is scratching on it. She's just not scratching exclusively on it. So we're still working on that.
Right. Okay.
But she has finally figured out that the cat tree is something she can scratch on. So I guess that's progress.
Okay, let's see here. We're using this for the throttle, or are we using that for the throttle?
Whichever one you want.
I'll use this one. I'm much more used to this one. Okay. So, let's see here.
And we can take the prairie off if you want to use the coaches.
Oh, yeah, we could do that too. I was thinking.
But if you want to run the pacemakers, then we can just set them up.
All right. Well, let's see here. Headlight. Any day now. There we go. Now the button works. But where's the headlight?
That's odd. Is there like a drawbar connection?
Oh no.
What is
Why
on
is
your
headlight not working?
What is on your face?
Rear light is working, but the... Wow, this is my first ever on-camera, like, total...
Well,
total
I mean,
failure.
It's kind of a known thing that trains get stage fright. They will sometimes just simply refuse to perform when they're on camera. See, normally I can just do multiple takes until I get it to work, but on stream it's a little more awkward.
That's concerning because it was working like just before I left for college, so I hope I didn't like shake it up in the back or something. That's entirely possible.
Somebody says, I do want to ask, what's your opinion about 3001 heading to the Fort Wayne Historical Society to be restored?
Incredibly positive. I'm super excited for that, and I think it's going to be a huge win for the railroad preservation community. So yeah, overall,
I believe
super
that's
excited.
actually why you chose to number this one 3001.
That's right. Yeah. Here, I'll bring the camera closer to the audience. So that's
I have it set to a very wide angle, because if you zoom in at all, the resolution just goes to absolute crap.
So that's what that looks like, and as we can see here, the taillight is working, but it's not moving for some reason. So, you know what? It doesn't feel like it today. Maybe if we have time, I'll open it up and I'll see what's wrong with it, but
Yeah.
who knows?
Well, for now we can just run it without the light.
Well, that's the thing, it's not going to run at all.
Oh, is
no.
the engine literally not getting power?
None at all.
Wow, okay. That's
None in the locomotive. Well,
that's concerning.
maybe it's time to put ESU locks on this thing, right?
Yeah, we keep hemming and hawing about taking the MTH electronics out of it, and I think now might be the time. It did occur to me that since the camera is now mobile, we could also run some O-gauge trains if you feel like it.
Yeah, let's do that.
And I can trip over the tripod very well.
Well, that's a hint disappointing. I was kind of
Yeah, that's a bummer.
excited to run this today, but
Well, I guess now we can at least hold out hope that there's a possibility it could get around these curves.
yes. But you know what? It is one screw to get inside of it, so I'm curious.
Yeah, we might as well try.
Curious to see what will happen.
For everyone who's been asking about where the O-gauge room is located relative to the HO room, here you go. HO, couches, bedrooms in there, desk is over here, that's the stairs down, and then over here is where the O-gauge room is. Workbench, layout.
Oh, sweet, new chair.
Yeah,
I have one just like this.
I found that at Goodwill for $12.
That is so interesting. I have one just like this at home.
Huh.
Awesome.
I wonder if they were part of a matched set.
Possibly. All right. Well, I'm gonna attempt to get inside this thing if I can find
Okay.
a screwdriver.
Do you want light?
Yeah, that would be great. Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, the screwdrivers are kind of all in one box, so sometimes it takes a little bit to get to them. Red dot on the end is Phillips, green dot on the end is flathead.
Okay.
But
That's not.
there should be one in there. I'm just not sure where in there it is. I need to get a shelf installed in here so I have room for more toolboxes.
That'll do the trick. All right. So.
Moon's gonna help. She now has to help with everything that I do on that workbench.
Yes. Of course. What the heck?
What?
This thing's almost like chiseled.
Oh
into
yeah,
not
sorry. That's the
screwdriver,
one that I filed down to undo a really tiny screw.
All right. Well, you. Why don't we run the stream and then
Okay.
I'll be working on this in the
There
background
should
to
be-
fix this thing. Ah, found it.
There should be a couple of different Phillipses in there.
Okay, this Phillips is too big.
There should be at least 2 usable ones.
Small flathead should work too, right?
Possibly, depends on how big the screw is. Let's see what's just saying. Oh, there's a Mohawk mod for Railroader. We'll have to get that when we start playing. Hey, Rido, got to start high school tomorrow and got to visit Abilene and Smoky Valley. Oh, nice! Oh, you got to see 3001 up close. That's awesome.
You got to see that.
World War II Rebel.
Sweet.
Antone, two-tone. I have a black cat just like her. Oh, I'm working on my car in the garage. He's helping me. His name is Charlie B. Barkins. Excellent name. Do something with the more buildings. Yeah, I kind of intentionally left the HO layout a bit sparse on buildings so it was easier to film. Because anytime you've got something going between the camera and the train that you're following, the autofocus goes crazy.
Okay, I think I've
Have you exhausted the...
sort of given up on trying to find one.
Okay, there is... I think there may be a set of screwdrivers with bits somewhere I could try to find that would have one in there.
Okay.
Let me take a look at that screw and see how small it actually is.
It is a pretty small Phillips. You know what I think? I think for me walking around with it.
I know I have something that would work with that. This one's going to be too big, but I know there is a smaller one I'm just not sure where. It might be in here. It's not that one.
The joys of a workbench. Am I right, guys?
The joys of having too small a workbench for all the tools that I have.
Yes. Watch out for the loco.
Oh yeah.
I'll move that over. Yeah, this thing. My gosh, this thing took forever to detail. I've been working on this. I think it was something like 650 days of on and off work, which is about a year and a half, which is nuts. Like 1.7 years. But yeah, you can see in there. There's a whole bunch of detail. Close this way.
Nobody saw me.
Cold water
my finger in the solder flux.
Ouch, that hurt.
No, it's fine. It wasn't on. It's just.
Okay. Oh, the flux. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Because usually your soldering iron is just on.
No, it's off now.
Never mind.
Yeah, I don't know where the heck that screwdriver is. It used to be in here. Let me see if I can find that other set of them.
Yes.
Moon, don't eat the trees, please. Where might it be? Back here, maybe? Or did I take it back downstairs?
Supersonic YT 63. Yes, that is a New York Central Mohawk. It's specifically an L3A.
Will you not eat? For freaking heck's sake, cat! Am I gonna have to remove these trees?
Bad.
That is the face of zero remorse.
Yes. Supersonic, yes. L3A. That's correct.
Okay, I don't know where that screwdriver is, but
I didn't think that a screwdriver was going to be the hard thing to find tonight.
That is. Did I like put it in the wrong bin or something?
Huh. That is really strange. A super small flathead would work too, right?
I suppose this one would work.
All right, chat. We'll find out right now. Oh, it's just too big. Oh wait. Okay, hold on. I got it. Kind of turning it at an angle.
Okay.
This
I'm
is like
still holding out a little bit of hope that I might find the actual correct one in here.
Okay, and then yes. Ah, so close. Okay, hold on. And
I know I have the right one.
Open sesame. Yes, there it is.
Okay.
I got it.
Good. Now I never have to find that screwdriver. Oh.
All right, let's see what the problem is.
My dad has dropped in and delivered us a couple
Hello.
of screwdrivers that would work. Thank you.
Wow, I have no idea what's going on in here. Like, what could possibly be wrong is what I'm trying to say.
There's nothing disconnected?
Doesn't look like it.
Maybe something was shorting against the frame. Moon, what are you scratching on?
No, it looks totally fine. All these wires for the drawbar are fine.
Okay.
They go to... No, it's not fine. Oh, I see it now. This blue wire.
Oh, you found it?
Chat, check it out. Yeah, the blue wire. Do you guys see that? The blue wire's loose. Okay, well, that should be a simple fix. Just need to figure out what... Yeah, it goes to right there.
So I warm up the soldering iron?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Live repair, guys.
Meanwhile, Moon's got the zoomies, so I may have to entertain her.
Lesson for you guys. Don't walk 30 minutes with a train in your backpack, even if it has a box when you're trying to get to Mike's house. Terrible idea.
So I built this for Moon. She likes chasing stuff, so I built her a car to chase.
Out of Shelby Cobra?
Yeah, Shelby Cobra body. I had to widen out the fenders a little bit, but then I had this... This was originally a cheapo RC car. It was not fast enough. So
Oh, cool.
I put it on a different frame. So I don't know actually where she went now, but...
She head downstairs?
It is quite quick now.
Whoa!
Quick to roll itself over on the carpet.
That's funny.
There is one more thing I want to do to it, which is make a little...
Oh, there she is. Oh, no.
I want to make a little cat driver figure for it. So it looks like she's driving.
You ready? Nope, there it goes. What are you going to do?
Where'd she go? Sometimes she'll lose track of it.
She's back there somewhere. Oh, there she comes. Ouch. Uh-oh.
Yeah, see, this is why I'm thinking about getting a laser instead.
Go for it. Nothing really beats an RC car, right? Nope. Ouch.
She tends to get a little wound up in the evening.
Is that white? You cute kitty. Oh, okay, bye. Sorry. Here you go. There's the phone.
Oh, thank
Or
you.
are we reading?
I'm reading. I was reading the chat.
Yeah, let's read the chat too.
Yeah, this is Peter,
wanna
aka the
ask-
Berkshire Main Line.
How's it going, guys? I do want to ask, but does the elephant ears on the Mikados, I think you meant Mohawk, removed look totally bad or not? I like the look. From time to time, the New York Central System, National New York Central Museum will take them off in real life. And I think it's an okay look. They got them sometime around 1945 or 1946. And I really like the smoke deflectors. It looks just as good without them, but I don't know. I think it looks a little bit more bland. It doesn't have that signature look of an L3 Mohawk. You know what I mean? But both are good. Both are good.
That was an amazing leap.
Let's see it on the stream. Ready? That was good.
That's the fun thing about having having the stream up on the screen.
You get like a 15-second replay
Yeah.
of what's going on.
Yes, chassis system. It's a Shelby Cobra body. I had to do some dremeling to fit it to this chassis because the original one was not fast enough and it couldn't handle the carpet very well. So I made kind of like a Baja Shelby Cobra. But she goes nuts for this thing. She's kind of in stalking hunting mode right now. I think she might also just be a little wound up because there's more people here than usual.
Yes. Okay. I saw somebody in chat say this is their first time hearing about soldering, and I'm no professional, but that looks like it's not going anywhere to me.
I mean, as long as it's connected, it'll be better than it was.
Yes. The one thing that you want with like a surface soldering like this is that you want to try to encase the solder into the wire, because before it wasn't kind of encased in it and it just kind of popped out eventually.
Yeah.
It's not great right now, but for the
Let me
time
take a
being
look.
for the time being on the stream, I think it's fine. It'll survive. So
You could put the shell on and not screw it on and see if it works.
yeah. Although I kind of expect it will. But that is if it's not getting pinched by a wire somewhere.
Oh yeah, pinched wires are the eternal curse of putting trains back together.
Okay. Wow, that went together surprisingly well. Cool. All right, where is that small Phillips if you found it? The blue one?
This
The
one. This is the better one.
This is the better one? Okay, cool. Yes, that is perfect.
That's the one I was using to take apart my laptop the other day to try and figure out why it abruptly died.
Yes. Is the new laptop on the way that you were telling
Not
me about?
yet. I haven't made a final decision on which one to get.
Voila. Good as new? All right.
I'm thinking probably a Lenovo Legion 5 or 7. I haven't picked out a specific one yet. But the Lenovo ones are supposed to be more sturdily built than the Asus one that I had before. So hopefully
Asus.
it'll last a little longer.
I found Asus.
There we go.
Nice.
Oh, moon knocked over a streetlight.
Oh, the moon's getting excited.
She's got the New York Central zoomies.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, ready?
Honestly, for MTH, that doesn't sound half bad. And it takes the curve. Look at that.
Let's not jinx it. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I hopefully didn't speak too soon.
I just turned the cab light on, but the resistor that MTH put in there is so strong that you can hardly see it.
It made it over the worst spot.
Wow. I'm impressed. I don't remember the last time we ran this thing on the layout.
Have we ever run it on this layout?
I think we have, but it was a while ago. Probably almost a year ago now.
Moon's fascinated.
Uh-oh. Moon, look, it's black, just like you. All right.
Moon, you've got an eye booger. Would you let me get rid of that for you? Here. There you go. See, isn't that better?
All right. Let's get some cars on there.
Yeah, let's get some pacemakers.
I brought a college starter pack so that I wouldn't starve myself to death in school.
Oh, she's
Speaking of starving, looks like you're gonna go eat that.
she's discovered the little chair thingy.
Yes. Very tasty.
Hopefully that'll keep her occupied for a while and distracted from the trees.
Yes.
Yeah, she's been eating this. That's gonna be a problem. Well, I may have to figure out a different tree solution to replace those, because once she's discovered something is chewable, I have a feeling that getting her to not chew is going to be a problem.
Yes. The joy of cats, right?
Yeah.
My kitties are, for the time being, banned from the room. So I let them in only when... I let them in only under supervision, and they usually don't go too far. I don't let them get onto the layout yet. Just yet. But they'll upgrade to that soon. I'm sure.
Honestly, I am wondering in the long term if it might be not the worst idea to move this layout down to the basement to get it a little bit out of the cat zone, and then we'd have room to expand it.
What do we think, chat? Do we want to get this thing into the basement?
And then we could just shut the door to the O-gauge room. Oh well, I'd have to put the door back on. I took it off, but...
Okay. And I don't think the chat has seen this either, but...
Oh yeah, the
Mike and
lighted
I
caboose.
Made a lighted New York Central caboose. Here, I'll try to get some shade on that.
Very nice.
Yeah, there you go.
I can turn the lights off.
Yeah, we can do that. Alright, so here's what we'll do. I'm going to back the
Look at
L3A.
that.
Yeah, there we go. So, I'm going to back the L3A into the train, and that'll be a good opportunity to see the backlight. Also, check it out. The cab light might be kind of, from a close-up, kind of visible.
Yeah, it is.
Just a little bit. There's a little glow in there. Right.
It doesn't focus up close very good. I'm going to turn the light back on so that I can see where the cat is.
Cat's right here. There you go.
Because she is completely invisible in the dark.
Void.
Yes. I've not been keeping up with chat at all.
Let's see. Once we get the L3A moving, we will be responding to chat.
Then we can keep up.
Alright. Headlight?
Yep, headlight's working.
I'm going to turn the chuffs down a little bit so they're a little bit more mild, and go respond to chat.
Okay. I might get Moon some wet food.
All right, let's do that. So in order for me to be able to read chat, I kind of have to stand over here. Let's see here. Basement would be nice, especially for allowing expansions. Yeah, definitely. The nice thing about this layout is that there is a split, what I understand, right here, and there's another split here. So, in theory, you could expand the layout this way or that way. I mean, as long as you match it up with this kind of angle thing. There's the Mohawk again. Anyway. So let's see here. Did you hear that NYC Mohawk 3001 is going to be restored to operating condition? Yes, and that is one of the reasons why I made this. I was super excited about that, and I really like the Mohawk in general. So I figured it would be awesome to make a model of it. So yeah, that's almost certainly a factor in what resulted in the creation of this thing. Uh-oh, and there's derailment. Oh, yikes. What happened?
Emergency stop.
Wait, let's get a view of the damage.
It's shorted out.
Now that's a lot of damage. Oh, that would actually destroy the MTH decoder.
Yeah, it looks like, well, it was shorting through the freight car axle.
Huh.
It jumped off on the switch, and then the wheel was...
Let's rotate that one car around.
Because it's an Electrofrog switch, the wheel landed in the gap there and shorted it.
Yes.
So
okay.
the locomotive will be fine, but that is one of the downsides of Electrofrog switches is there's that very narrow gap, and if a little wheel goes in there, it'll short out the whole way.
Yes. Chessie, who made the NYC Mohawk? Originally, it was an MTH, but oh my gosh, the details are just so different that it's hardly an MTH anymore. In fact, most of this thing is actually brass now.
What am I doing wrong?
Hit 3 first, and then after you hit 3, yeah, now it's going to start up again.
Oh. Right, because it's MTH and none of the function buttons are what you expect.
Exactly. Anyways, as I was saying, most of this thing is brass at this point. So, for example, these smoke deflectors are brass. Most of this piping here is brass. This cold water pump that runs along the side here, that's brass. The headlight's brass. It has an SMD LED in there. Even the throttle, it's going to be hard to see, but the engineer is, yeah, you see that? He's holding a throttle in there. That's also brass. Whistle is new. This is called a centrifugal water separator. Yeah, that's also brass. This detail part here I replaced with brass. So just most of this thing has been completely overhauled and detailed, and of course repainted. The wheels have been repainted. The smoke box has been repainted. Redecaled, of course. So these are completely new decals that I did myself. As with the back, it's kind of hard to tell from here. There's various 3D printed parts, which when the train comes around again, they'll be in view, so I'll show those for sure. And even on the other side too, so yeah, when we get there. But I really tried my best to pay attention to detail this.
I'm used to a lot more momentum than that.
Yeah. Actually, that was derailed. Here, this is a good example. So here's another view. This is what we call a bumper. So when you hook up to passenger cars, it kind of like jolts them a bit. So this is a cool 3D printed part, which was resin printed by me. And that is basically something that prevents that jolt from being too bad, because it's kind of like, I don't know if it's spring loaded in real life, but yeah, that's meant to bump the cars, kind of like a buffer. This is a, what do you call it? It's a steam pipe, because this is a passenger engine, dual service actually. And the steam pipe was kind of used to heat passenger cars, which is cool. So yeah, just various details in there like that, but it's at this point hardly an MTH. So yeah, let's hook this thing back up and we'll go do some more rounds with it.
How fast do you usually run this?
I usually put it at 30. That's a good fast passenger speed. You live about 5 minutes from the former water level route. Chessie, that's awesome. I live on the Boston and Albany main line. So my town was one of the big stops for the New York Central's Boston Albany. And actually, the last ever engine that ran in my hometown was an L3A, just like that one. Last steam-powered passenger train, that is, sorry. Pacemaker speeding through the night as goods bound for the market. Yep, that's right.
I'm gonna run to the bathroom if you want to.
Go for it. I'll hang out with stream. Do I have any advice for starting high school? For starting high school, it's certainly a big step forward in life. I just graduated. I'm starting university right now. I'm going to be an aerospace engineer. But for starting, and had another derailment. Jeez. Okay, well, here I'm going to stop this. So for starting high school, as someone that just graduated, I'm going to say that the most important thing that you can do for yourself is to have discipline. If you are keeping up with your work, you're making yourself, even when it's hard, making yourself do the right thing, even when no one's looking, even when it's hard, then you'll be successful, my man. Just remember that high school is a big developmental part in your life, and you're going to meet a lot of awesome people, and there's going to be some annoying people, but that's how most of life is. So it's a good start to learn that way, and you can certainly learn a lot, and it's a good foundation to find out what you want to do next after that. But yeah, best of luck, and I hope it's smooth sailing for you. Looks like we have a request in the chat for a nighttime run session.
Oh, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that. Would highly recommend visiting the NYC Railway Museum. Yeah, I would, I would absolutely love to do that. Oh, the void is over there. I think the camera can see it a little better than us. Check out the lighthouse too, that's cool. Yeah, I would absolutely love to go. In theory, I would only need to take one train from my hometown to the NYC Railroad Museum. One train. It's just a direct straight line shot. If I were to take the, I believe it's called the water level route train that Amtrak runs. If I just take that straight from where I live in Mass all the way down. Actually, you could take it from Worcester all the way down. And you can end up right in Elkhart, Indiana. So that's awesome. What are your thoughts of NYC's Berks? Oh, okay. So the main NYC, I don't believe had any Berks, but the Pittsburgh and Lake Erie, I think. Uh-oh. Moon just swatted a car.
Uh-oh.
And it's horribly derailing. That's fine. I got it. No need to stop. I got it.
Is the lights on?
I think we're good.
Okay.
Saved it.
Moon, you're being a little menace tonight.
Bad kitty.
She's all worked up.
Yes.
There's a lot of excitement going on.
I think they're cool. They look a lot like Niagara's, like the front that is. They have the Selkirk style front, and the tenders are super interesting. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that one of them has a walk-through tender like they do in Britain, which that's super interesting. I'd love to have a model of one day. And they are painted in a really pleasant green color, which is cool. So eventually I'd like to get one, and it's only fitting because I'm the Berkshire Main Line, right?
Doesn't BLI make one of those?
BLI, that is a different Berk. That's a Boston and Albany Berk. Okay. I don't know why I didn't think of that first. Yeah, I would. The Boston and Albany Berks are, oh gosh, they're super cool.
We can put the phone on this if you want.
Yeah, let's do that. I love the Boston and Albany Berks. I'll probably have to get one of the Broadway Limited ones when they come out. They look terrific, and certainly one of my favorite prototypes. Yeah, all around great model. Ran here in the local area through Worcester where Mike lives too. So yeah, that'd be awesome. Check out Moon over there, kind of setting up. I love Mohawk, says Chessie. Awesome. Gilded Rail, the Mohawk lives. It certainly does. Soldering is hard, not gonna lie though, especially with small wiring. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the smaller it is, the trickier it gets. Having the right tools, like the right soldering iron tip, makes a big difference though. Moon's fascinated by the train.
Hello. Somebody in chat said hello to me.
Oh, on the O gauge layout, the Alco and the 060. The Alco I do run a lot. That 060 I was running last stream, but I don't run that one that much because it doesn't have sound currently. More often, the Alco and the 74501 are what I mostly run.
Has Peter seen the sheriff? Do I know what this is? The general or the sheriff?
Look over by the station on the right.
Oh, yes, that sheriff. Yes, from the movie Cars.
Yes.
Yes, I have seen that before.
We
That's
got to
awesome.
remember to go see Cars when it's back in the theater
Yes.
in September.
Yeah, we'll go vlog that or something.
Unironically, near perfect movie.
Ah, Supersonic, thank you. I'm glad you think it looks amazing. That's great. Thanks, man. Are we already on the topic of 3001?
We've
I
been on the
guess
topic
so.
of 3001 for a while, I think.
I hate to be
The
this kind
lives-
of person, but I think that NYC 3001 is going to run on the CSX Erie West subdivision because it was the former NYC water level route. I only mention this because I live there. Hey, don't need to apologize or anything like that. That sounds like it's going to be awesome. Yeah.
Somebody said the stream is kind of breaking. I think maybe the nighttime is not.
Yeah.
The camera
looks,
is not
it looks
enjoying
pretty.
it. It's like. I mean, I don't know. I can see both pixels.
Yes. Two pixels
might-
fighting over which color
I'm-
they're supposed to be.
I might turn the light back.
Yeah, let's do that. Well, it was fun while it lasted, guys.
What I might also do is make sure there's no smudges on the lens.
Southern Pacific, what 440 from NYC do you like the most? What 440 do I like the most from the NYC? I love 999, but I think that that's just kind of a basic answer. I think 999 is somewhere around here, right? Yeah, there it is. The HO.
I've got the HO 999 and obviously the O scale one
Yes.
as well. The O scale one's a nicer model, but
So here's the HO scale one. It's surviving. It's a little noisy. Originally,
Yeah.
Mike and I were going to restore this, kind of paint it into like a Russia iron color, but it's a little bit kind of jank. So we're not sure. But overall, 999 is my favorite. I certainly love it. It's great.
just old brass things.
Yes. And I'm good at putting together old brass things too, but yeah. I think your pacemaker boxcars need some upgrades, especially the knuckle or some. Yeah. I mean, they do have knuckle couplers, but I think that
How do you have more eye boogers already?
something must be with the cars. I'm not exactly sure what is wrong, but yeah, old Athearn cars can be temperamental like this, but they do the trick, I guess. They look fine. Live in northeast Pennsylvania, right along New York border. I live near 3 railroads: NYC, Nickel Plate, and Pennsylvania. Wow, super cool. All 3 ran in Erie, and Pennsylvania ran in Sherman, New York, the town near me. Awesome. That is super neat. Oh, speaking of which, I think NYC 3001's on the
yeah.
TV right now.
Yeah,
Driving
same
the-
model, probably the same set of pacemakers.
Same model, same set of pacemakers, but the model in that video is so much different compared to the one that's now there.
Yeah, you've done a lot of work to it.
Yeah, so much more work.
I don't know how well you can tell on the tiny little screen.
It's
Uh-oh.
the ship of Theseus. I think it got another Mohawk and swapped various parts onto it. So it's yeah, it's not quite the same model anymore. Uh-oh. Hopefully she doesn't swap the locomotive. Be nice, please. Be nice. Accident. Oh, okay. They were close. Might have to run a passenger train for the Mohawk.
You're a fuzzy little baby who can do no wrong, but you're kind of getting on my nerves right now, man.
Possibly, yeah. Smacks the like button. Yes, everybody smack the like button right now, guys.
Yeah,
Red Oak needs more Cars characters.
I
Yes.
do. I don't know where the sheriff came from. I just found him in a box of train parts. I don't know if this is like part of the die-cast. It's not metal. It's like a plastic thing. I think somebody said this might be from a board game, but I should find more of them and hide them around the layout.
Somebody in the chat said would have liked to see the 440 on the layout. Well, you know what? Maybe after the Mohawk runs for a little while, we can
Yeah.
attempt to demonstrate this thing back in the layout again.
If you go to, I don't think it was the last stream, but the one before that, we did run that.
Another layout ran through, or railroad ran through Sherman. Super cool. Western New York and Pennsylvania Railroad. Wow. Sick. One thing for sure, a former NYC engine running on NYC trackage is going to be amazing. Oh, yes. Fort Wayne runs on a lot of NYC trackage, and that's one of their big advertising points for fundraising. It's saying that if you want to see an NYC engine on home rails, then there's only one way to do it. Hey, Peter, how you doing? I'm doing good. I'm in the first week of college right now. I go to school not too far away from where Mike lives, so I just walked here. Yeah. NKP 765 ran on Norfolk Southern UP, NKP Lake Erie District, so NYC 3001 should run on the Erie West Sub water level route. Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Red Oak, do you run any diesels? Just wondering.
Yeah, I've got an Alco in the yard right there.
Yeah.
I probably run more steam than diesels, but I do like some diesels. I like the early diesels.
Me too. Yeah.
The ones that kind of have the spirit of a steam engine, where they're just kind of a big clunky contraption that always sounds like it's going to break. I love those.
Alco.
Yes. Alco, and some early EMD, and like Fairbanks Morse and stuff.
Yes. Moon is starting to be a little gremlin. Oh,
yeah.
As do most cats.
She gets a little wound up in the evening, and she gets especially wound up when there's people over. And she also gets wound up when there's trains running, so it's kind of a perfect storm of things that get Moon a little bit wound up.
Gilded Rail said, if the cat did whack it off the track, it would seem that she's a Pensy foamer. Ah, yes, the Pensy fan going to attack the NYC engine.
Can you not?
Train Street, I have returned. Good to see you, dude.
Yeah, attack the chair. That's at least cheaper to fix.
One area of my city has been former Rock Island trackage with a bridge still wearing the Rock Island logo. Super cool. Tristan, Pensy sucks. I, on the record, will not take a stance because I do like the Pensy.
Yeah.
But yes, I hear you, Tristan. Man, the gears on this thing are like, they almost have like a inset like this.
Yeah, because they're worn down.
Yeah, whoever was running this engine, it's gonna be hard to see, but
it has a lot of miles on it.
The gears are so worn out on this thing that I'm led to believe that whoever owned this thing was trying to break the speed record like every day.
Yeah, I put a can motor in it, and it's still pretty loud because the gears are so worn.
Yes. Going on vacation for my birthday this year? Have fun, man. My hometown had 5 different railroads at its peak, also being a very small town at the time. Wow. 5 railroads all sharing the same trackage, or 5 railroads that all had something of a track nearby? Like, I'm curious to know. NYC, our PRR, great, but the combined railroad, the Penn Central. Yeah, no, we don't talk about Penn Central.
Have a good night, Jesse.
Penn Central was, it was sad. Hi, Moon.
I can never tell if she's starting to get tired or if she's just winding up for the next flurry of activity.
Yes. You know, I've always wondered which was the true detriment to the railroad. Was it the NYC or was it the PRR that really put the final nail into the coffin for Penn Central? Or,
well, I think
or a trick question, was it General Motors and their corporate lobbying?
Yeah, it was General Motors.
This is how they sow division in us, guys. They make us not look at the real problem, which is cars.
Not the movie. The movie's good.
Yeah, the movie's cool.
Even though I'm pretty sure Lightning McQueen is canonically a General Motors product.
Hey, Mike. Do you happen to have any goldfish? I'm super
There might be some downstairs.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll make a run if you want to.
Cool, yeah.
I'll keep an eye on the Maniacs.
I'll keep an eye on you guys.
The Maniac's in there, and the Maniac.
And you know what? We're gonna get up close because I can tell that the video quality isn't that great from all the way over here. So
I'll be right back.
we'll do some. pacing shots, huh? Get it? Because it's a pacemaker. Hi, Moon. Uh-oh. Moon, what are you doing back here? Did you just trip on that wire? Oh, you poor thing. I'm sorry, bud. Poor girl. What do we think, chat?
Like
oh,
penguins returning from the hunt.
goldfish. Yes. All right. So I see chat is alive again, so I'm gonna go speak to them. Go Mohawk, go! Yes, Supersonic, go Mohawk. The fact that a Mikado can run these curves is crazy. So it's not quite a Mikado.
Yeah,
Mikado's a 282.
It's a Mikado with extra wheel.
Yes, this is a 482. So it's a Mikado with one extra leading wheel. Or what do you call it? Leading truck wheel?
Leading
Yes.
axle, I guess.
So this is a 482.
Not sponsored by Pepperidge Farm, but if you want to sponsor me.
Always an open door. There you are. I'll come respond to the chat. Tristan, I think we need to put the FEF and Mohawk together at the Westbourne Shelter Coast. Of course we do.
Now let's do it.
Epic. Yes, Tristan. Did it? I don't know if Tristan can hear me right now, but yes, that is 3001. Yes. Hey, Robert, that's cool. Yeah, definitely. We'll love to see posts in the community page about your visit to the New York Central Museum when you go for your birthday. That sounds awesome.
I keep forgetting to check the community page. I know lots of people are posting stuff there. This is almost water level route right here.
Yeah, actually. I think that's the most water that 3001 has ran on, and like on a scale of model railroad so far.
No kidding.
Moon is a ticking time bomb. Be
Yeah.
careful what you say. Yes.
She's got a little bit too much energy right now. Honestly, I'm happy as long as she doesn't chew on the trees anymore.
Yes. Supersonic. I'm sorry Mike doesn't have a Hudson on the out too, but there was one here recently when we installed DCC into it. It was a J1D Hudson.
Did we film any of that? I can't remember.
Maybe, I'm not sure.
Whoops. Frame was hitting the camera a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Southern Pacific, yes. I hope that they get some boxcars for too. What I really hope they get in 2001 is a tender. Or not, I'm sorry, not a tender, the caboose. Because the museum has some cabooses on site that need a little bit of work. But I think with fundraising, it'll do it. So if you guys are feeling generous, go donate to their campaign. It's a good cause.
Wow. Those are actually 382 for 60 bucks, not bad. Yeah. Hey chat, can you hear us from here? I'm standing like halfway across the room.
Okay, wait, chat. We're about to say some stuff facing the computer. We're curious to hear from you guys if you can hear us, okay? So we're just gonna talk, and then if you don't hear anything for a couple minutes, just say no, okay?
Penn Street was great. New York Central sucks. Penn Central was a good idea and it improved both railroads. See if they can hear that.
Is that audible, guys?
I did see the video of Decals yelling at someone.
Yeah, like stopping the train and
Yeah.
going over it, yeah.
Heard that Penn Central comment. Okay, so I may have sacrificed my credibility, but at least we know the microphone works.
That's a good mic then.
Yeah.
May I see, I don't know if he has the 5344. Actually, do you want to mute that?
Yeah.
Or,
I do not
or
have-
spam 7 a bunch, so it's at the lowest setting. One more. So there's like residual noise. Yeah, like that.
I do not have any Hudsons at the moment, unfortunately. I do want to get an O-gauge one though.
I have a J1D in brass. It's super cool. It has the ESU lock sound in it. It's one generation older than the J1E, which is 5344, but at some point I'll have to get one. There was just a Commodore Vanderbilt on eBay that was made by Key Import, and it sold for $495. That is such a good deal for one of those. I can't afford it, but man, if I could, that would be awesome.
Oh, you can't hear us when the train passes? Yeah, that makes sense.
Hi, Moon. Uh-oh.
Should have brought in more than one bag. I had to go out to my car to find that because I
Oh,
was
yeah?
stockpiling them in the car.
Yes.
One of these days I'll get a Hudson.
I hope he has the 20th Century Limited Dreyfus Hudson. Supersonic, can you elaborate? Do you mean me or Mike? Because I do.
Yeah, he's got one, I bet.
I do have a Dreyfus Hudson. It's a Broadway Limited brass hybrid, and it's 5450, not 5452. But hey, man, it's close enough, right? Tristan said, Peter, how many likes for you to make an Penn Central Mohawk? If you're willing to donate your L4 for science to turn it into a Penn Central Mohawk, I'll do it.
We need a cheap one so when we're done we can launch it off a jump.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that'd be funny.
Get like the next train show we go to, the cheapest River Rossi Mohawk we can find.
Is there a River Rossi Mohawk? I've never seen one
I
before.
assume there is. I can't imagine why there wouldn't be.
Huh.
I don't know actually, now that I think of it, I'm not sure I've ever seen one. It'd be kind of nuts if they didn't make one.
There's certainly a mountain that we can find.
Yeah, maybe like one of the IHC ones that we can get it really cheap.
Yes. Oh. And,
Or a non-running one, just push.
yes. Somebody in the chat did ask me what I think of the Mohawk with no deflectors, and I can confirm that there are screws that hold in the deflector, so if we wanted to, we could take it off. I'm just worrisome of doing that right now because I don't have a screwdriver fine enough that could fit in there without scratching the paint of the smoke box. But it is possible to remove it. If we really wanted to, and if we can find a suitable screwdriver, I might be able to remove those for you guys.
Yeah, that's pretty small.
You can see in there, tiny little screw right there. I do want to ask Peter, but what is the least favorite railroad that you have? I don't normally think in least favorite railroads. There's something that I like about every railroad. Least favorite. Oh man, that's a tough question. Like if I really had to hate on one, I guess I'm not a huge fan of Sioux Line. I'm not a huge fan of Sioux Line just because they weirdly decided to race. For all of their steam locomotives, they decided instead of just top mounting the headlight on the top of the smoke box, or center mounting it like this. So instead of doing it like the NYC did, like this in the middle, or just having it a top mounted like that, they decided to kind of offset it, and it's kind of like raised, and it looks like a derpy Patrick, if you know that meme.
Kind of like halfway between raised and on the middle.
Yeah, it just looks really weird. And the name Sioux Line, I know why it's called Sioux Line.
Don't play with the wires,
Uh-oh.
please. There's no anywhere else that you can have your zoomies.
Anyway, so the name is just a little silly, which I do like the whimsy, but
Oh, wait.
Yes, anyways. So if I had to choose, that's probably my least favorite, but I wouldn't say I hate it. There's parts about Sioux Line that I like as well, as with most things.
Oh.
Man, you are really going with the zoomies right now. There you go.
Oh no, my pants.
Builded Rail says, I like the headlight of the Sioux Line steamers. Yeah, definitely nothing against Sioux Line fans. It's just not my cup of tea. Yeah.
I feel like the kind of halfway in between one headlights are kind of an acquired taste. I'm not a huge fan of them, but I will accept Strasbourg 89 because it's Strasbourg 89.
Train Street says there's one Hemco tooling. I'm assuming you're talking
Oh, a
about
Mohawk? Okay, yeah, we could try to find that.
Somebody asked if we got a video player for the drive-in screen.
Yes, I did.
Or a portable DVD player.
It's
How did you?
Oh, it's just this little media player. It just plays files off an SD card. I just found it on Amazon. It was pretty cheap, but it just does HDMI output.
Uh-oh. It looks like we got another couple fans of Sioux Line headlights. Guys, one more time. It's certainly nothing against Sioux Line headlights. I know they're absolutely goated if that's your cup of tea. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, man. They're cool. They're just not my cup of tea. But certainly nothing against Sioux Line fans. Actually, where's that? We did get a Mikado. Remember the G-scale Mikado? That is a Sioux Line prototype because of the...
I thought it was a B&O prototype.
It could be. Yeah,
It's-
but it has a Sioux Line
It's taken apart at the moment. I have it in a box in here. This was a train show. Hi, Moon. This was a train show find. It's taken apart. I do think this might be B&O, but it could be Sioux Line. But the headlight definitely looks Sioux Line.
It's like super raised.
Yeah, it's like raised well above center.
So when I saw that, I thought that was kind of like a Sioux Line.
Yeah,
looking-
they definitely made it look very Sioux Line. I don't know what the original prototype is. I think actually it has no specific prototype because Aristocraft made the Pacific first, and I'm pretty sure that one was B&O. But when they made the Mikado, they just used the same boiler and put different drivers under it.
Peter's not throwing the switch like in Railroads Online.
Moon might be.
It'd be a lot harder for me to disguise myself throwing a switch without Mike seeing it.
Yeah.
In person, that is.
Why don't you
But yes,
scratch on?
that was a fun 3 months of trolling.
Why don't you scratch on the actual tree that's meant for scratching, Moon?
Anyone in chat, did any of you guys happen to catch on to it? Like, did I slip up ever and anyone noticed? Or was it only revealed when I finally revealed it?
I know I did not have any clue until you finally revealed it. Like the initial one, I started to suspect it, but at the very end of the Rails Online series, I was genuinely flabbergasted. I thought the game was just broken.
Nope, it was me the whole time.
The game is kind of broken, but it turns out that wasn't part of the broken game. That was the ultimate crank.
In the early days of Steam, Sioux Line also had the top-mounted headlight. Yeah,
Well, pretty much everybody.
yeah,
did
pretty,
in the
yeah,
early
pretty
days.
much every railroad did that. That was kind of like an railroad activity, you know.
Gilded Rail says I had no idea.
I hope the man in red has Dreyfus Hudson. You mean the man who is classically trained? If you guys know what that is.
It's either that or they mean Santa Claus.
It's because I learned how to drive stick shift. No, if it's Santa Claus, I don't know if Santa Claus has one, but I do. I have a Dreyfus Hudson. It's 5450, not 5452, unfortunately. Sorry, guys.
Kind of a weird vertical stick on the Maybe the angle is too wide.
Does the 4K camera have a hard time connecting, or like the other camera?
I have yet to figure out how to connect it to the stream, but right now, since I don't have a good laptop, I can't go through there at all, so it's just going directly up.
Oh, why not?
And it doesn't have the graphics processing power. I tried to do it and I was getting like a frame every 2 seconds.
Oh no.
But yeah, I think the problem with the 4K camera is that it would need to be plugged in to last for the length of the stream. And I don't currently have the right plug-in for it. I just pop the batteries off to charge them.
Yeah.
So I need to find a charger with the proprietary Sony plug.
Can you read that comment out to me by Sony Pacific?
Hey, Burke Mainline, since you have a fantastic installation, you know Suline 210-950.
I don't know Suline 210-950 off the top of my head. But I think I remember seeing something about a Suline engine getting restored on YouTube. It was some like from start to finish how a steam locomotive gets restored video. Super cool to watch. It was a Suline engine.
DB Tech, the Lighthouse. The Lighthouse is a Walther's kit. It came with the flashing light. It doesn't actually rotate. It just fades on and off. But it looks from a distance. It's pretty convincing. It looks like it's rotating.
W5450 Dreyfus Hudson. Yes. Fun fact about that one. It had a boiler explosion when it was hauling the 20th Century Limited. Super big boiler explosion. All the cars went everywhere. Surprisingly, not that many people got injured, and the people in the sleeper cars just got jolted a little. But 5450 had to get a new boiler. It was a whole thing. There's pictures online of it. Sup, Mohawk 3001, how's it going? I think it's going good, but I'll ask.
We were talking about taking a steam outline prototype of the fake contractors and seeing if they would be a real steam. Most of those are based on actual prototypes. Like the most common one you see at CP Huntington is based on an actual 424T locomotive. I believe the real one's in the California State Railroad Museum. I don't think the dimensions are perfectly accurate, but there is a real prototype for it.
Red Oak, have you ever thought about taking a steam... What does that say?
I think that's the one I just answered.
Okay, never mind. Whoops.
Hey Burke, says TFFC.
What's up?
Tristan says, I want one of those chance ride CP Huntington in my backyard. There is a place in Worcester that has one.
CP Huntington?
Yeah, I think it's called the Ecotarium. It's like a children's nature museum thing. But they have a little loop around the property and they run one of the chance rides, CP Huntington engines around it. I keep needing to go down there and check it out. I just haven't gotten around to it. I think it's a fairly short loop. But we do have one. Oh, you've been there, Tristan? They were last summer. They were advertising a job opening for an engineer on the train, and I almost applied, but I didn't really want to work outside the summer heat.
Oh no!
Oops.
Whoopsies. That'll be a fun replay on the stream. Let's see that. Ready? Badoosh.
It is kind of fun having a little instant replay on the screen.
Yes. Where did you balance this dang thing?
Very carefully.
There we go.
I honestly, I know that like the whole thing is everybody wants thinner and thinner phones, but I kind of wish this one was thicker so that I could balance it like that more easily.
Thank you.
He wants to know what kind of caboose that is.
This caboose is it's a Trix made by Markland. Here, I'll actually pick it up and I'll show you guys.
The cupola does look a little bit squished TFFC, but I'm pretty sure the prototype like that too.
We'll compare it with this caboose here. That's me. All right, we'll take that. So, here is an NYC caboose, and what is originally, I think, a Denver Rio Grande caboose. Was that the original prototype?
I don't know
Or?
what the prototype is. It's the same tooling as the Combine. They just put a caboose roof on it.
Yes.
But I think it's meant to loosely be a Rio Grande prototype.
So anyway, the main thing you'll notice about the NYC one is, yes, the cupola is pretty short. I mean, compared to this guy. Whoops. Hopefully the driver's okay. You can see that it is pretty short.
I wasn't sure what was going on, and then I saw it on the screen.
Yeah, Mike's watching the replay. Anyways, yeah, the cupola is pretty short, but it's literally just enough for the guy to see out the window and make sure that the train isn't totally derailed. There's a chimney out here. It even has little support thingies. Now, Trix weirdly made the chimney super tall, so I had to shorten that chimney a little bit, which is interesting. Another cool thing that you'll notice with this caboose is that it has the division of where it runs labeled on it. So I don't know how well the camera can pick that up, but the text under the road number, oh boy, that's really hard to see. It says Hudson Division, which is cool. Man, the camera quality just dropped off like a cliff all of a sudden. Wow.
I think when it's streaming from the phone, it nukes the camera quality, get the bitrate down.
Right.
Because like normally that phone can do like twice as sharp of an image as that. It's just not doing it right now.
Yeah, weird. We'll have to play around with the settings or something like that. Anyway, so I painted the chain silver, which is nice. But yeah, so overall, it's a nice caboose. But you can see there, that's the label. Yes, it is a Trix product, which means that it was made in Germany by Marklin, which is awesome. And that also means that it has NEM coupler pockets. So you can see there that it has these weird NEM couplers, and the coupler has this kind of like an extender shank thing, which is fine. On my other Trix NYC caboose, I had to mount a coupler box for that.
Stealing your phone.
I wonder if that's visible on camera. it's visible. That'll be a fun stream replay. I didn't mean to show that on camera. Whoops. And now that's connected again. Cool. We did also install lights in this caboose on the same day when we were working on my caboose.
The lights in that are not currently working.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, what's up?
I disconnected the pickup because they were squeaking really bad.
They're squeaking bad. I don't know what black magic we did on this one, but it stopped squeaking.
That was the second one we did, and I think we had the process figured out a little bit better by then.
Yeah, I guess so. Also, I was gonna ask, what do you think of the? Well, hold on. Once it comes back around, it's kind of not visible right now. I was gonna ask, what do you think of the shade or like the tone of the LED?
I like it. It's nice and warm.
I made sure to find one that is nice and warm, almost kind of like a incandescent orangey color.
It's warm, but it's not yellow, which is rare, and I think it looks really good.
I'll teach you my secret with how I did this, guys. Believe it or not, that LED started life as a bluish white LED.
Really?
Yeah, that started life as a bluish white LED.
Like put tinted on it?
What I used was a product called Gallery Glass. Now, what Gallery Glass is it's kind of like a craft product that's meant to go on your window. You put it on your window, and it's kind of like stained glass, but made out of, homemade products, I guess. So it's not actual glass. It's kind of like a Mod Podge, but tinted, basically. So what I did was I took a little drop of amber-colored Mod Podge, and I put it on there. And actually, the cab light was also kind of blue, so I put one in there, and also on the backlight as well. So all of those have this kind of really nice amber Mod Podge color to them, which I think came out great. In previous iterations, when I had different LEDs installed in this thing, they were usually pretty white, or ever so slightly white, but I think that the kind of like orangey color looks a lot more period-like, I guess. I think it looks better. Like, this is what I would call true warm white. What I have on this is just a hint more
it's a little bit
orangey than
warmer,
that.
But they're both pretty plausible incandescent.
I think that is a pretty good incandescent bulb.
It does, yeah.
Possibility, yeah.
That you could tell me it was incandescent, and I believe you.
Yes. I do love the look of incandescent bulbs. There's something about them that looks really pretty. But I don't know, Chad, what do you guys think? Do we prefer the kind of whiter white of this, or the kind of more warm color of that?
I don't know exactly.
I'm gonna eat some goldfish.
Yeah. The one on the Bumblebee is just whatever factory LED Athearn put in there.
I'm assuming it's just a 3mm warm white LED standard.
I would assume so.
TFFC, is that how I say it?
TFFC, I think?
Yeah, TFFC. The Trix Mohawk is really cool. I had one for a while, and I traded it off for a Broadway Limited Mohawk. Yes, I know, variety. I'm sacrificing variety for the same-ish looking model, but whatever. The Trix Mikado, it was cool. It had a very, very old lock sound in it, which is fun to play with. And the gear drive was kind of like a coasting gear drive. So if you put your hand on it and you rolled it, it would roll the gear drive, which is not something you see very often. I will say, though, that they are kind of overpriced what they are. They are pretty much just standard USRA Mikados with slightly different tender bunks. So if you're determined, you can certainly make one. And there's also brass ones out there that I've seen go for cheaper than the Trix one. But if you're really into it, then sure, definitely go for it.
A little bit late. We want to run some of the good streams over. I just noticed it's like 11.
Yes. Yes, Gilded Rail. Yes, that is why they shortened the cupola. The height clearances on the NYC were very narrow, or as in very short. So actually, if we compare the smokestack of this engine to the Mohawk, it's almost taller, I think. Yeah, like you can.
Yeah. The that Denver and Rio Grande is not actually Denver and Rio Grande because it's Athearn. I'm pretty sure the prototype for that is actually Maryland and Pennsylvania.
Right.
Which was a short line that presumably had a much looser height tolerance.
Yeah, the height tolerances on NYC are pretty strict. I heard someone say that it could use working marker lights. I'm on that, you guys. I would love to have marker lights on all of my models, so I'm definitely looking for that. And whenever I find some from Tomar, just like the ones on my, I believe it's a CNO caboose, then I'll definitely install those. I am really excited to have something like that on these. Yeah, it would definitely look great, kind of back there. Really love it. The warm color, it's more realistic with the light tech at the time. Yeah, I agree.
Where did Moon go?
I like the color of incandescent bulbs, but I use LEDs because they're brighter. Yeah, and they're more fuel, energy efficient, not fuel efficient. Yeah.
I don't know where Moon went.
Would you like to see my Steam Kitbash projects? Sure. Yeah, put them in the community.
Anything
channel.
you want us to look at, put in the community channel. I may or may not actually see it because I always forget to check that, but that's probably the best place to put it regardless.
Dreyfus Hudson 5450 is a ghost train. Yes.
Was that the end of that engine, or did they rebuild it?
No, they rebuilt it. They put a new boiler on it. It lived out its days to get de-streamlined and everything. Yeah. This one will last to get retired, from what I understand. Good gas mileage with LEDs. Yeah, definitely. Certainly draw a lot less power. What is your opinion about Fort Wayne Historical Society's choice to get NYC coaches while getting 3001?
I didn't know they were, but that's
they are. They're getting the the Great Steel Fleet. Yeah, that's what it is. So they acquired the Great Steel Fleet, I believe, actually a little bit before they acquired the Mohawk, and it's going to be expensive, you guys. It's something like $100K per car to get it fixed up, which is that's like half of my college tuition, which is crazy per car. Honestly, that actually kind of makes it sound like not that much.
I
But
was gonna say, for railroad cars, I would expect more than that.
to restore them, to buy them, it was completely different. It was like for HVAC and for like insulation is 100K.
Oh, yeah,
You know, that's a little bit steep in my
It's
opinion.
steep, but honestly, for restoring something like that,
Yeah,
it's not entirely far off of what I'd expect. I mean, not that I have any frame of reference for that sort of thing.
for resto modding it, I guess like it's like with an old car, you really need to tear everything out. Better not leave any of the original electronics in it, that sort of thing. I think it's gonna be really cool to see the 3001 running with them. It'll be it'll be super awesome. I'm really excited for that. And I can't wait to see the day when they do. Any other questions that I can answer in the chat? Put them in, you guys. I'm happy to answer them. Tomar makes great stuff. Oh yes, I have a working, what's it called? Semaphore signal, yes. And I use an Arduino to program it. I think Mike has seen it before, it's super cool.
HL Trains, how do I join the Discord? The Discord is not really active as such at the moment. It's not a public Discord, it's really just for when we're playing multiplayer games, we'll communicate through there, but other than that, it's not really an active thing. If you want to basically have something like that that's like a community for the channel, go to the YouTube community posts.
Southern Pacific, what's your opinion about knowing there are 2 NYC 280s preserved? See, I didn't actually know that there were 2 NYC 280s preserved. I heard a legend about some, like 2 of them being in a forest somewhere. And I think I've seen videos of like 2 abandoned locos in a forest somewhere in Maine that were once NYC. But I don't know if I'd call that preserved. They're basically slowly returning to the dirt. But they're around, I guess. From what I understand, the locomotives that are in preservation are 3001, also another Mohawk, which is an L2D, so the generation right before this one, number 2933. There's also an 060 somewhere, I think in St. Louis, and some diesels and stuff, but as far as steam goes, that's... Oh, and 999, of course, yeah, and that's kind of it. I don't know if there are any more. At least I don't remember. I think there might be like 1 or 2 more. But yeah, it's very scarce number. I mean, even compared to Pennsylvania Railroad, it's scarce.
And yeah, Pensy has very little.
Pensy has very little, but they have a whole museum worth of steam locomotives out there, and they're building a new was T1? Yeah, T1 Trust.
The T1 Trust.
That'll be super cool.
I'm curious to see how that turns out.
But I will say I am incredibly disappointed that the NYC didn't think to preserve their motive power some more. The only reason why 3001 was saved was actually because it was bought by the Museum of the American Railroad in Texas, and it was disguised as a Texas and Pacific engine for, I don't know, some amount of years. And then only after a while it was brought back up to NYC territory in Indiana. But yeah, if it wasn't for that, it probably wouldn't have been saved. From what I understand, 2933 was hidden by railroad employees so that it wouldn't get caught or something like that. It was hidden behind boxcars or something like that. And they used an excuse of trying to make it like a stationary boiler. Whatever. But yeah, it's fairly disappointing. If a Hudson still existed, man, that would be something. But this Mohawk looks pretty similar to the Hudson. It carries the face of the Hudson. It has
basically just with an extra driver.
Exactly. It has the exact same boiler front. It has the exact same pilot. Very similar looking arrangement on the boiler. No, the wheels are different. But
I think
yeah,
the wheels are bigger on the Hudson.
the wheels are definitely bigger on the Hudson, but the style I meant. So the style on these is what we call a box pock, and the ones on the Hudson were just standard as far as I understand. There might have been some with scullins, which is cool.
The Hudsons that were streamlined and then de-streamlined had scullins.
Yeah, those were awesome. Because why fix it if it ain't broke, right? You already had scullins from the Dreyfuses,
Super
so.
cool looking wheels. Not super practical. I think they had some balance issues, but they looked so cool.
So this is an L3A, but I also have a L4B. Very similar looking, but slightly different Mohawk. And that one has skull and disc drivers. It is super pretty when it runs. They're black, so they're it's kind of hard to see, but they're awesome. It's one of my favorite models for sure. Just put ESU lock sound in that, bunch of custom sound files, so yeah, that's great. Eventually this one will join the ranks with ESU, but for now, the ease of just having a wireless drawbar, man, you can't beat it. Anyway, I remember we were going to do something with O-Gauge.
Yeah,
so,
let's run
yeah.
some O-Gauge while we're here.
There you
Chase,
are.
I'll take a look after the stream. All right, shall we?
We'll stop this.
Yeah, might as well stop that.
Might
just
be
so-
another week before I run that again, so hopefully we'll get some more runtime before I leave.
Alrighty, I'm not going to run the RS1 because I would need this phone to control it because it's Blue Nami only. And I don't think I can do that at the same time as I'm streaming, so we'll take that off.
Well, what if I get the Blue app and control it?
Oh yeah, actually you could do that. I guess I'll put it back on. I always forget any phone with Blue Nami can connect to any engine. There isn't like a password or anything.
Uh-huh.
Which is great for pranks at train shows. Not that we would ever do that.
Definitely not. Like, we tried to attempt connecting to a
No.
Blue Nami engine once, and we ran it almost off of a turntable stall. That was hilarious.
Yeah, we definitely have never connected to somebody else's Blue Nami at a train show to be funny.
And, like, blown the whistle 10 times in a row.
That didn't happen.
Okay. Scan.
All right, power. Outer track, DCC.
How do I... Oh, that's why it's not on.
Yeah, give it a minute, it'll show up. Maybe you
There
may
you go.
hit refresh.
You know, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now what?
Click on it. Let it do its thing for a minute.
Was it reading all the CVs?
Yeah. And then you've got your... Oh, you know what? We can do this. That's upside down. No. Oh, that's also upside down. Why is it upside down? Hold on.
I'm gonna go check if the stream's upside down too.
I'll see if I can get this to work. What about now? Give it a minute. Okay. So it doesn't automatically flip. Alright, well, that's what it is. The phone doesn't fit on it. Also, I'm kind of in the middle of
It's not working.
There it goes. Let me see if I can put it on the other train.
Okay.
Can I do anything like that now?
I heard 3 comments, and the first one was somebody hoped I would bring NYC 5450. I will bring it hopefully for next week. I'll bring that one around. I heard somebody say if we can run 999 with the coaches.
Yep, we can do that.
And then the third question was for me, and it was which Alco is my favorite. And I really, really like the FA.
Yeah, the
The
FA's...
FA1 is super neat.
Those are super cool.
But I also really like the RS1 and 3.
Yeah. Yeah, what let's do is move the RS1 over to the freight train, and then we can run 999
Yeah.
on the outside loop. Oh yeah, and somebody wants to see 382 with the Alco again. We can do that.
Okay.
There we go.
Capacitor in there?
Yeah.
Cool, it's almost like it never left. There we go, there's the headlight.
Yeah, you gotta turn it on.
I like the smooth fade in. Check it out, stream. Smooth fade in, very nice.
I wonder if there's any way to put the phone on 999. That's not really any way to make that work, is there? Well, we'll try it. This may fall off, so enjoy it while it lasts, people. Oh, the boxcar got it.
I'm not gonna go 100 miles an hour. Wish you made it more clear when you were live streaming the O-Gauge layout. Yeah, sorry about that, SBR. I accidentally, when I did the O-Gauge layout live stream, I accidentally put the HO thumbnail on it. I meant to put the O-Gauge thumbnail on it. That was a
You should
mistake.
be able to go back and change the thumbnail, right?
I couldn't figure out how.
Huh. Did you go into YouTube
yeah.
Creator Studio?
Have a good night, Yard Sounds. I was trying to do it through the streaming software. I'm not sure if you can change stuff in Studio while the streaming software is working, or if that'll mess something
Probably
up.
not while it is, but now we can change it back so people are rewatching it. So.
Yeah. Which claimed record do you think holds more water? The S1 doing 150 or 999 doing 112?
I'm sorry, which one holds more water?
Like, which one is more likely to be true?
Wait, what was the question? One more time.
Which is more likely to be true? The 999 doing 112 or the S1 doing 150?
Did the S1 have a dynamometer card?
No, but neither did 999. The thing is, 999 was at least measured in some way with stopwatches and mileposts. The S1, I'm pretty sure that speed was based purely on guesswork.
Yeah, I think
it's very likely that the S1 beat the Mallard's record, but by how much we'll never know.
And I'm also going to say this. I think that it's very likely that 999 was the fastest ever engine when it broke the record. We'll just never know exactly what number it was.
Yeah, no, I think it probably came as close to 100 as near as makes no difference. Whether it actually hit 112, doubtful. But it was probably... I'm guessing it was somewhere in that range. It might have hit like 99 and change or something.
You know what? There were several people on that train with stopwatches that were reporting it, and they all got within the same-ish number, so
Yeah.
I think it's more likely. Yeah.
Well, they all got numbers between like 80 and 112, so I think it's likely that it got close enough to 100 for that I think the record should count. Okay, so the S1's record was timed in a way. It was measured between station stops. It covered 160 miles in just over an hour.
Wow.
So it definitely beat the Mallard's record. Now, exactly how much is going to depend on how accurately those stopwatches were set. But there's a big enough margin there that I have no doubt that the S1 probably did at least 130 or 140.
Just remember, guys, high-speed rail was a thing in the U.S.
Yes.
It's them damn car companies.
Remember what they took from you.
You know, like the meme of animals looking at their ancestors, and it's like, I lost my shell, and it's like the armadillo like thinking about like the dinosaur version of itself, and the cat looking at a saber-toothed tiger is like, I lost my presents, and then the chicken's like, remember who you are. It's a T-Rex.
Yeah.
Last little handful.
Split up.
Yeah, why not?
Like, I'm a car person too. I like cars, I like trains, but the American auto industry, GM especially, has a lot to answer for in terms of the demise of the U.S. passenger rail network.
Uh-oh. Okay, ready guys? Never attempt this.
Yeah. Professional driver on a closed course. Don't try this at home. Yeah, GM, Firestone, and Standard Oil did have a hand in scrapping the Pacific Elect. Yeah, the 119 is kind of cursed. I'm gonna make a video on this alongside the 999 to show like what MTH, the various things they did with this model. But after that, I'm probably gonna sell this one and just keep the actual 999.
I'm gonna do a break, but this time there's 2 trains coming and 999's actually going kind of fast.
One of these days, probably once I have a major disaster, I'll put an electrical interlock on this. I should do it before I have a major disaster, but that would make too much sense. I've been trying to modify that camera card that I built to hold the new 4K camera.
Yes. Oh, I see the trash cans already filled up since we last figured it out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, you did see a TRX4 under the layout. I have the F-150 one. I've lowered it down for more scale look, and I put a snowplow on it. I have tried actually plowing snow with it, and it kind of works. It would probably work better with scale snow chains. Oh, scale force it. Well, at the moment, it's just a coincidence. I've got, well, the 382 is never gonna run because it wasn't built for 3 rail.
I think we should check on Moon. Where's Moon?
I think she went back downstairs.
Okay.
Just make sure she's not eating the trees. Yeah, the 2 Williams ones I have the red oak one that I built, which just needs a decoder. And then I have a spare parts one, which is probably not going to run. That's just spare parts for this one. And then the MTH one is a project that I haven't gotten to yet. Sorry? Yeah, go ahead. You might have to fill it. I think it's empty. Yeah, tap water's fine. I can fill it in a second. Let me just put the camera down. All right, what did I miss? Super detail a Rail King engine. I mean, I sort of did that with the Red Oak 460. I didn't really super detail it, but I do want to add some details to that MTH one. The MTH 10-wheeler, why is it Christmas colored? I bought another one for parts, and that's the Christmas colored shell. The one I had before was the Thatcher Perkins, but that one had so much water damage that most of it wasn't salvageable. So I'm using a handful of parts from that, but it's mostly going to be the Christmas one. But it will be a combination of both.
Hey, Mike. Hey, chat. If there's any locomotive you guys want me to do next, I've already done like Paramarket 1225, NYC 3001. What other locomotives would you like to see me detail? I'm just curious what you guys would think would be cool. I'm reading the chat over there.
I don't think I'd say super detailing's a lost art. There are some really impressive ones that I've seen recently, including Peter's Mohawk. Somebody said super detailing is a lost art, and I was saying that your Mohawk is an example proving that's not true. I'd say 10, but certainly better than I could do, and probably better than anybody else I know.
So then hopefully it's not a lost art.
It's definitely not a lost art.
But I wouldn't say it's super common. Not everyone chooses to.
No, well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of models nowadays that come basically super detailed already.
Yeah, Spectrum is pretty good. It's like a base.
Yeah, Spectrum's pretty good, but yeah, the art is definitely being kept alive. It is, I promise, it is a coincidence that all of the 440s specifically don't run at the moment, or the 460s. I just haven't worked on any O-gauge stuff in forever. Could be interesting. I'm gonna duck under here. Dimit. I can't really hear you over the trains, I'm afraid. Hold on.
We'll watch the trains go from here.
Yeah.
Gilded Rail, what is a C and IM A1 class? Or actually, no, what's the railroad? I've never heard of the C and IM.
Retail trains, I'll check my email after the stream. Dimensions of the O-scale layout. It's 16 feet deep from here to the wall down there, and it's about 7 feet wide. These are all regular standard size hollow core doors that it's built on. So you can see there's 1, 2 lengthwise, and then a horizontal one at the end. Same on this side. And then I cut one down for this. So that gives you a general idea. But yeah, it's about 7 by 16 feet total. I can't remember if I have or not.
I guess my next question to the chat is, are there any other New York Central engines that you guys would like to see?
Yeah, we should have been more specific.
No, I'm cool with
Yeah.
hearing what other railroads and things people like.
Chase, the railroad crossing sign is 3D printed. It's a custom design. I just went in Blender and used the feature in there where you can make text 3D, and then I made an outline around the edge, and then just picked a font and did that, and then this is just silver Sharpie to highlight it. I had to print it in 3 pieces, or 4 pieces actually, because it was too wide, so you can see the joint right there. But yeah, it's just 3D printed. I'm gonna have to wait for the train before I can cross. And now I got distracted filming, so now I have to wait again. Actually, I'll just duck. Yeah, 382 totally runs. It doesn't need an RS1 at the back. These are undisputable facts, chat. 382 can run by itself, and we didn't prank someone with Blue Nami at a train show once. And the Penn Central was good. We can debate everything else, but those three things are undisputed facts. Those unknown 460s that New York Central had, I think we actually talked about doing one of those, didn't we?
Yeah. They're not unknown. There's certain classifications of them. I just don't quite remember. I'm better at figuring them myself.
Yeah. I should look into that, because I do think those are really interesting.
I was thinking of doing a 280. Remember when we were talking about 280?
Right.
Yeah. Eventually I'm going to kitbash a Bachman 280.
Yeah.
That'll be really cool. Someday.
Yeah, Chase, we did actually just go up to somebody's booth and connect to their Blue Nami and blow the horn, but the volume was turned down really low, so they didn't even notice. So it wasn't quite as much of a crazy caper as it sounds like. All the trains just sped up as soon as the kettle clicked off.
Yes.
Yeah, the Bachman 460 I think is actually pretty close to those New York Central ones. We could make that work. That is one of the excuse me. That is one of the side effects of this being an old house, is that anytime the kettle or the air conditioner is on, the lights noticeably dim, and the trains slow down. And if I have them both on, it trips the breaker.
By the way, I'm show the chat this. This is an Instagram post I just did, announcing that 3001 is officially done. Oh, whoops! Hold on.
Yeah.
There we go.
Gotta be careful with the music, because
Yes.
it might be copyrighted.
Turn that down a little bit. But yeah, there you
But
go,
yeah.
guys.
That is a beautiful model.
Get hype like it's October 1940. That's because that's when that was built.
Yeah.
So yeah, go
Hey, what's
go
this-
follow my Instagram, guys.
What's this stream you're watching? I've never seen this before. Chase says, I connected to my friend's Lionel ready to play and mash the horn, and if you hold and then leave the app, the horn is stuck on until you disconnect Bluetooth.
Oh my god.
A single Norfolk and Western 460 survived until the end of Steam. Ran on some single little branch that nothing else could run on. So basically Petticoat Junction.
Huh.
It gets so loud in the O-Gauge room.
Doesn't it?
Southern Pacific posted in the community posts on the
On YouTube?
having a brain aneurysm right now. Posted the community tab, a community post in the community tab on the YouTube channel.
Oh, go check it out. Hey, look, another live stream. Look at that.
Whoa!
It's telling me I need to go to bed.
Yeah. That's pretty cool with technology these days. You can watch two completely different live streams at the same time. Yeah, it is getting kind of late. The radius on the O-Gauge layout is 072 on the outer loop and 063 on the inner loop. And then I think 054 on the siding. Norfolk and Western 954 literally looks like 475, but as a 460. We'll have to look that up. Yeah, I could run a Vision Line Big Boy if I could find one. I'm just not gonna pay $2,000 for a single locomotive. But if somebody brought a Vision Line Big Boy over here, I would be able to run it. I think pretty much anything that's been made in 3-rail will run on 072. A Bachmann controller on the HO layout. Oh, the DC one? Yeah, this is an old Spectrum Magnum DC controller. If I switch the track power to DC, it uses that. I don't remember where I got that. I think I paid like $5 for it, but it's actually been pretty reliable. It's definitely much better than the cheap ones that they include in the regular train sets. It's very smooth. Well, it is midnight. This is...
Is that the longest one of these streams has gone so far? Or
it might be. I
normally
don't...
end a little earlier.
I usually end between 11 and 11:30. But tonight has been quite an exciting one. There's been lots to see.
Is this the first guest you've had on stream, like in person? I feel like I don't remember any other in-person guests before.
Yeah, this is the first one. Unless you count Moon on the O-Gauge stream last week.
See, it's a lot easier for me to do this when I'm in college and I don't have a long drive back home. I'm
Yeah.
right here.
Run the old Bachmann 44 or the 99. We're already running the 999.
Oh, like the HO99?
Oh. Oh, Chase, it's 11 for you. You must be 1 hour off. Southern Pacific says, I think y'all gotta go sleep, bruh. You're not wrong, Southern Pacific. But how can we sleep when there's trains?
Right.
Like, oh my god, the noise. There's a railroad that goes by right outside my bedroom. Like, you can hear it through the wall. It's deafening. Keeps me up all night. Yeah, fall asleep to train ASMR. I actually do that sometimes. I'll put on like a Dynamo Productions compilation or something to fall asleep to.
That's a fun way to go to bed. You know what? We'll spice this up by running 3001 over here.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do a final thing with 3 trains running at once.
Yes.
I don't want to try to do the Bumblebee at the same time because coordinating 2 trains on this layout is a nightmare. My most used train...
We'll try it.
Probably number 12.
I think that's currently, but it used to be 13, right? For a long time, 13 was the most used one. Here,
yeah, it was. Yeah, 12 has parts from 13 in it. So...
Transplant.
But yeah, 12. Oop, and my phone's about to run out of battery. I'll have to plug it in real quick. Which means we'll be stuck in this room for a while. How do I afford all this? Collecting it bit by bit over the years and buying lots of cheap broken stuff and then fixing it. Like there's rolling stock on this layout that I've had for over a decade. Also, if you go to train shows, you can find stuff really cheap.
Here's another good one. Buy stuff that's cheap and not as detailed, and detail it.
Yep.
For example, the MTH. I'm not gonna, like, it was a good base model in a vacuum, but you know, comparing it with other like brass models and other things, and comparing it to real life photos, it left a little bit to be desired. So it was the budget option, and I turned it into. Honestly, I'm gonna go out and say I think it's probably better than some of the brass Mohawks out there.
Wow, N-scale Challenger for 160, brand new. Yeah, train shows. Not every train show is going to be a treasure trove, but that is usually where the best deals are to be found. Yeah, buying cheap broken stuff and fixing it is peak model railroading. I agree. Do I still have the Kalamazoo 440? I'm assuming you're talking about the Heartland one, which is the same tooling. I do still have that.
like so many of my other engines, it's currently waiting on a decoder. I'm gonna put Blunami in it eventually. But yeah, this is cosmetically, I would consider this pretty much finished. I think I've done as much to it as I'm gonna do cosmetically.
Hey, Mike, how do you connect this? Is it select loco? Is
Yeah.
it 943 or is it just 3?
It's just 3 because it has your Hudson decoder in it.
Alright, we have to do this quickly. Uh-oh.
A Thomas Bachmann. I honestly don't think I would buy a Thomas in any scale. It just doesn't really interest me. A Williams brass big boy. I do want to try some of the Williams brass stuff and the Weaver brass stuff. I think those could be good O-gauge deals.
What is going on with this thing?
I don't know. This behaving weirdly.
No way it's going to outrun the Mohawk. Okay, this needs to slow down.
I haven't done any programming on that decoder, so the settings are still going to be whatever they were for the Hudson.
It just sounds like a teapot that's like cooking.
Yeah. It's just because the chuffs are overlapping because I haven't calibrated it. Oh, hello, Ricardo.
We're just going to meet that.
Glad you stopped by. We were wrapping up pretty soon, but we are still running stuff.
Still have a little bit of energy.
Yeah.
Oh, looks like all the videos just ended.
Well, I don't know if it's worth restarting at this point. Ricardo, this is Peter, aka the Berkshire Mainline.
Nice to see you.
He's a friend of mine. He's been in the chat a lot. We played Railroads Online together.
We've had a few collabs. I
Yeah.
think the earliest collab we had was the December train show in 2024.
Yeah, that was a good
Since
one.
then, I've appeared in... What other videos have I appeared in? We built a time machine,
Yeah, the Time Machine one.
and then what else? I forget what else I was in.
Besides the Railroads Online ones.
There was the PN trip.
Right, yeah, we've done multiple PN trips.
So I think it might have been a couple of those, yeah. Something along those lines.
Honestly, we can probably turn off the trains in the other room at this
Yeah,
point.
let's do that.
Considering the camera is now tethered to the power cord. Oh, the RS1 already stopped because your phone got too far away.
Oh no. What was the brake on this one again?
I don't know. I was gonna ask you. The O-gauge makes so much more noise.
I know, right? I wouldn't exactly call it like calm railroading.
Yeah,
With
no.
HO, it's very kind of the soothing clickety clacks.
Yeah, HO makes a lot less noise, and also this room echoes less. Because this room is mostly the soft ceiling tiles. The other room, because the walls are sloped, it's mostly the hard wall surface.
Yeah, it's still pretty fun.
No worries, Ricardo. I'm glad you were able to drop by. We're probably going to end in not too long. Bachmann and River Rossi 4-4 and the 9-9. Yeah, well, we can technically run 3 trains on the HO layout. It's just a huge pain to coordinate the speeds of all of them.
Sort of wish it was a double track main like what I had.
Yeah. If I ever do... My dad and I are debating the idea of when we do our downstairs workshop, trying to put a larger HO layout in there in addition to the G-scale.
The other idea that we were throwing around was to doing an elevated layout above the O-scale layout, which would basically be a double track loop around. And we were thinking possibly
Yeah.
NYC, who knows?
We could do that. I'm kind of lukewarm on that idea because it would require a pretty elaborate system to raise up part of it to duck under. It would have to be a lot more elaborate than what the O-gauge has because there wouldn't be room for it to actually swing up. So I think more likely I'll just put storage shelves up.
Uh-oh.
Oops, what happened? That's
Looks like
interesting.
it died. Okay.
That is.
Very concerning. I'm gonna go open it up and find out.
Does anybody remember in I think it was Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock, where they steal the Enterprise and escape from the space station, and the Excelsior tries to follow them, but Scotty took something out of the warp engine, so it just goes and stops. That was that noise.
The more they overthink the plumbing, the easier it is to clog up the drain.
Exactly. Iconic scene. I love that movie.
Okay, so what on earth happened?
It sounded like gears were not meshing. Maybe a screw came loose holding the motor in place or something? Or something on the gearbox cover?
Yeah, I think the gearbox cover came loose.
Hmm.
I'll see.
That's weird.
Yeah, it was just totally loose. Okay, that was my
Okay, is it screwed on or does it just snap on?
No, it's screwed on, and I just didn't tighten them at all somehow.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how I missed that, but okay, that's fine now.
Ricardo, we'll hopefully get the Mohawk back here in a minute. But also you can run the stream back and we have a bunch of footage of it running from earlier. Yeah, Chase, if you can get that Kalamazoo 440 for a good deal, it could be a solid fixer-upper. The old Kalamazoo ones weren't that detailed, but the gearboxes were pretty solid, I think. I think they might actually have used LGB gearboxes in those.
Mike, do you have a fine bristle brush around here anywhere? Model's a tiny bit dusty, and I was thinking of...
I have this big soft brush that I use to clean stuff.
Is it on the chest? Ooh, okay.
No, I got a new one. Yeah, SBR, I do want to find a Williams brass one. I'm just not sure which one I want to get. It's probably mostly going to be what I can find a good deal on. Don't have a ton of spare money to burn right now. Because really my only income right now is the commissions. So I am going to try and get a regular job. It's just very difficult to find one in this economy. But hopefully I'll be able to get one soon, and then I'll have a little bit more money to throw around, and I can do stuff like buying fixer-upper O-gauge engines again. Oh, nice, Chase. Yeah. The thing with the old tooling Bachmann 440s is out of the box they're kind of crappy, but if you can put some work into them, they certainly have the potential to be nice custom models. I mean, pretty much anything does. It's just a question of how much work you want to put into them. Maybe I've just always had bad luck with them. Thank you, SBR. Yeah, there's a few places locally I'm looking into applying to. I need to update my resume a bit. It's a whole kerfuffle that I'm not looking forward to, but it would be nice to actually have a little bit of money in the bank.
Your health doing better?
Yeah, weirdly, I was getting migraines like multiple times a week for quite a while there, and it was a real pain. And as soon as we got the cat, they suddenly improved massively. I think it was stress, because I've had cats pretty much continuously since I was quite a small kid, and I think it was like taking more of a mental toll on me than I thought not to have one. It's weird, we brought Moon home several weeks ago, and I've had like one migraine in that time, and I used to be getting them almost every day. It's wild.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling a lot better.
Yeah, apparently I was suffering from a lack of vitamin cat.
Yes, vitamin C for short.
Yes. Old Tool 440 has a brass drive shaft and 3D printed gear. Wow, resin printed, I'm assuming. I don't think filament could do that kind of detail, but yeah, that's impressive. I've always been a little skeptical that 3D printed gears would have the structural strength to hold up over time, but that's a really promising bit of info. Yeah, I might I don't know if I've showed it on the channel before. I have one of the old Bachmann pancake motor 280s floating around here.
Did I have a resin printer?
Yeah, so we could actually... The gears in it are actually okay for now, but if they ever go, we could make new ones for it. more likely I would kit bash a new chassis to put the shell on. I bought it because I was
Yes.
watching Heiss's videos of Redding 2102, and I thought that was really cool. But obviously 2102 is way too big for this layout, and I can't afford an O-gauge one right now. So I was like, well, technically 2102 started life as an i10 SA 280 and was later rebuilt. So if I get an i10 SA 280, that's sort of like having 2102. It still has that sort of chonky Redding look to it. So I just found a cheapo one. I actually thought it was a Bachmann Plus one, which had a can motor. It's in a Bachmann Plus box. It has a Bachmann Plus shell, but it turns out somebody swapped the chassis with a pancake motor one.
Bait and switch. You got catfish.
So the seller claimed not to know the difference, but they did give me a partial refund. So now what I paid ended up being a fair price for a pancake motor one, and cosmetically it's pretty much perfect. I think the bell's a little bit loose, but that's it. And it runs well enough that at first when I put it on the track I was like, I couldn't tell if it was like a fairly crusty can motor or a really nice pancake motor, and it turned out it's actually a really nice pancake motor. So it is possible for these to run kind of sorta okay. Runs better than the 440s. But eventually I would like to find one of the Bachmann Plus chassis with the can motor, 3D print some good axles, and make a proper one of these, and then put DCC and sound in it. And then I can take it to clubs and people go, why does that old pancake motor Bachmann 280 have DCC and sound? And obviously we could super detail it, but I feel like it would almost, because it's actually not, the detail's not that bad to start with, I feel like it would be funny if it just looked exactly like a stock Bachmann one, but it just ran really smooth and had DCC and sound. It's like a sleeper car.
I've been trying to convince them to super detail it, but yes, that would be fun. We'll let you guys decide.
Yeah.
Super detail it or leave it stock and have it like a sleeper build. What would be funnier? Or cooler,
Yeah.
actually.
We could do both, honestly. These are
We can
pretty.
find two of them,
These
yeah.
are pretty cheap. We could just find another one. You know what? Maybe we'll do. If we find a plus one, because this one I specifically wanted because it is lettered Redding. If we find another one that isn't Redding, because if we super detail it, we're going to repaint it anyway, right? So if we find another one cheap that isn't Redding that has the plus chassis, then we can super detail that and repaint that shell.
Into Redding?
Yeah.
Yes.
But honestly, I do kind of like the idea, because it is a passable looking engine. I do kind of like the idea of just leaving it visually completely stock and just upgrading the internals. So it's like when people build like a really rusty looking hot rod, but it's actually super fast and has really fancy driveline and stuff. They do make great shelf pieces, Heavy Tanker. I mean, they can be made to run okay. You just have to do some work to them. The axles are always going to be the weak point, but if the 3D printed stuff is stronger than the original nylon, then that can be made to work.
Give my tea a shot now. Yeah, it's doing better.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot. I have one of those infrared thermometers that I use for measuring the tea.
Let's take a look. Hopefully I haven't been needing to use it recently. It's looking a lot more organized.
Yeah, it's been nice. And I bought a shelf.
Sweet. Very nice.
Because no one likes to sit there looking up every day.
Yeah, I guess the last what we need to do is take that up there and get your dresser.
Yeah.
It's a good one that can actually open.
Yeah, 125, that's the perfect temperature.
You'd say that's perfect?
Yeah, between 120 and 130, I would say is the perfect temperature for tea. Fahrenheit.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I
And it's
usually
peach delicious.
just check the temperature periodically. When it gets to 130, I start drinking it.
That's the teacup chat. Star Trek. Mike and I are pretty big Trekkies. I think he's a bigger Trekkie than me, but
Yeah.
all of my devices, for example, are named after Star Trek ships. So
Mine too.
my phone is
Yeah.
Enterprise, my iPad is Excelsior, my computer is Discovery, because I think that's kind of a fitting name. It goes discovering stuff. My desktop at home is Space Dock,
Nice.
and my AirPods are named after shuttles.
My previous laptop was Enterprise, but that died, so I'm thinking,
Enterprise A?
yeah, the new one's gonna have to be Enterprise A.
Which, I mean, I didn't. I wish that I had started this naming scheme earlier because I've had like half a dozen laptops before that.
You'd be on Enterprise F now.
Yeah. Which, and because I have way too much of my brain dedicated to Star Trek, I know this. Enterprise F only appeared briefly in any of the actual
But
shows.
wasn't it fan design?
It was the winner of a fan design competition. It was prominently featured in the game Star Trek Online, but in the shows, I think it only appeared in one episode of Star Trek Picard
Interesting.
before being destroyed and then replaced at the end of the season by the Enterprise G, formerly the Titan A.
They rechristened it?
They did at the end
Isn't
of the
that
season.
bad luck to rechristen a ship?
I don't know. The Enterprise A was previously the Yorktown, if you believe the fan theories.
Huh, I thought that... Oh, well,
Because
actually, yeah, plausible.
in Star Trek 4, the one with the whales, there's a bit at the beginning, we don't see the outside of the ship, but it's presumed to be a Constitution class, where we see a report that the crew of the USS Yorktown is having trouble because of the probe. The whole ship's basically shut down. And then we don't hear from it, but then at the end, they have basically a brand new Constitution class ship ready to go in a suspiciously short time. So, and we never hear about the Yorktown again after that. And also, at the beginning of the following movie, Scotty mentions that the ship looks like it was put together by monkeys, in his words. Which implies to me that
It was very slapdash.
it was an older ship that they hurriedly patched up and retrofitted because they needed a new one, and renamed it while they were at it. So it's never been it's not like officially stated in the movies, but it's pretty much acknowledged as canon that the Enterprise A used to be the Yorktown.
So I think as far as Enterprises go, my favorites are, of course, the original refit, and then this one from Discovery and Strange New Worlds. The new
The Strange,
redesigned of Enterprise.
the Strange
so
New
good.
Worlds one is just a perfect reimagining of the original. That is
And I've heard people hate on it online. Like, come on,
that
guys,
just
why are
baffles
we
me.
hating on it?
Like I'm sorry, are you so attached to the goofy, barely coherent canon of the original show?
Like, this is a very good compromise between the
Yeah.
original show and...
Like, if you watch the original show, there are details on the ship that change from one shot to the next because they recycled footage from the original pilot. It's not that deep. I am fully on board with the idea of the Strange New Worlds design replacing the original design in the Prime timeline and then picking up again at the beginning of the first movie, and then the original series now exists in its own timeline. And they kind of did a nod to that in, I think, Picard, where they go to like a Starship museum, and it has like an original Constitution class, which is the Strange New Worlds design. And then they have another one, the USS New Jersey, which is an original series Constitution class. And they're like, yeah, we're not sure exactly where this came from. We think it came from a parallel universe. We just kind of found it abandoned. So it's here. It's in the museum. We're not really sure what to do with it because none of the parts quite match up with our other ships.
So in Star Trek Picard, which, by the way, takes place... Or when was that show filmed?
It was filmed
Like
in
during or after Discovery? Or like
I
when
think
was
it
the
started
series
during
filmed?
Discovery, but it was mostly after.
Okay, gotcha.
But it
And did they
basic-
get, oh gosh, what's his name? To play Picard again?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's set the same amount of time after Next Generation as it's been since they filmed Next Generation. So like 30
Awesome,
years
yeah.
or so. So it's old Picard, old Riker, old Troy. They bring back Geordi at one
So
point.
it's the old gang, basically.
Yeah,
Of,
and then
of Discovery.
spoiler alert, but at the end of the second season, they reveal that Geordi has been secretly putting the Enterprise D back together as like a garage project.
That's a big garage project to just
Yeah,
try.
I think he had to use a lot of parts from another parted out Galaxy class, but there is at least some of the original Enterprise D in there.
Somebody posts on United Marketplace of Planets.
Yeah, like
Enterprise D.
Yeah, like
5 million. I know what I have.
Yeah.
No lowball offers.
suspiciously cheap intact Galaxy class bridge. But yeah, Geordi has been patching together the Enterprise D again, and there's of course the classic Star Trek space dock reveal scene, and then they go and Millennium Falcon it inside a Borg cube to blow it up from the middle. And then there's a whole other subplot like with Picard's son who's like part Borg or something.
Right. But anyway, so in that timeline, the Discovery Enterprise, which is the Strange New Worlds Enterprise,
Yeah.
is the canon original series Enterprise.
Yes, it replaces the original series design in canon, but it's pretty much assumed that it is then refitted into what is the already established refit. So basically, we're only replacing the original series.
Because the original series is just a little bit too...
It's a little too campy and a little too dated, and then it picks up at the motion picture, and it then resumes the
Which still looks totally fine.
Yeah, the motion picture, like, the visual style of that has aged much... It's much more time... It still looks like it's from the late 70s, which it is, but which they improved a bit by the next movie.
But it's a lot more...
It looks much more like a logical progression forward than it did from the... Because the original series was... It kind of has a visual style that doesn't match anything else in Star Trek. But like the visual style established in the motion picture and refined in Wrath of Khan is pretty much how they like continue to evolve forward. So the original series has always been the outlier in like the visual evolution of that.
Of Star Trek, yeah.
Yeah, that and Enterprise, which kind of has more a next generation visual style, even though it's supposed to be earlier. But that was just because, well, I have opinions about this. The showrunner of that was Rick Berman, who had done Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager. I have opinions about Rick Berman, and they're not necessarily positive opinions. I think a lot of what's wrong with that era of Star Trek was his fault. Including, but definitely not limited to, the fact that the visual style of Enterprise is completely out of the era that it's supposed to be in.
Right.
Like, the design of the NX-01, they literally took an Akira class, which was a background ship from one of the Next Generation movies, flipped the design upside down, shrank it a bit, and that's the design of the NX-01.
Interesting.
It's literally the exact same shape.
Also, isn't NX in the Star Trek universe supposed to be experimental ships?
Yes, the Excelsior was the NX-2000. That's where they got the NX thing.
And then it became NCC 2000.
Yes, when it stopped being an experiment and went into regular service, they changed it to NCC.
Which, by the way, if it was Scotty that blocked the drain with the transwarp drive, then why did they just say, "Oh, okay, might as well scrap the whole project"? When it was basically operational.
Well,
like,
they didn't scrap the whole project. They just converted it back to a normal warp drive.
But why didn't they just unclog the drain that Scotty did and then keep it as a transwarp drive?
The transwarp thing is an idea that has been revisited through various eras of Star Trek, and it's kind of always been portrayed as like something it's too complicated and it just doesn't really work. Like in Voyager, I think they tried again to make transwarp work, and that's how Paris and Janeway ended up turning into salamanders and having a bunch of salamander babies that they leave on a planet.
Huh.
Because apparently the transwarp, they did actually get it to work, but it made them, I forget exactly how it worked, but like it made them go so fast that they occupied every point in the universe at the same time or something. It was a really dumb episode.
How much faster is transwarp drive than warp drive?
I think in the movies they never really quite made it clear. In Voyager, it basically, I'm not sure how fast it was supposed to be, but if I remember right, it ended up being basically infinite speed. So like it basically just broke space and time, and I'm pretty sure it was all just an excuse to have an episode where they turn into salamanders, because it didn't really make sense.
That is really interesting.
And I've completely forgot that we were on stream, and people are still talking about trains. Sorry about that, folks. We went off on a little Star Trek tangent there. Random question: how badly do you hate having to do brass piping, i.e., for feed water heaters?
If this is a question for me, the brass
I would
piping...
assume so.
For the feed water heater, I remember that a singular pipe I had at least 10 iterations of. Because I would bend it, test it on the thing, I'd say, nope, a little bit too long, scrap it, get a new one, try to bend it again. It was a little bit too short. Scrap it, bend it again. The angle is a little off. You try to work with it a little bit, and then something just doesn't look right again. Scrap it, do it one more time, and then finally it looks good. So overall, I'm left with like these 10 little scrap bits of brass. The pipe that runs along the firebox to the cold water pump, oh my god, it took me 1 hour to bend that one pipe. like maybe even longer. I think maybe even an hour and a half or two, because the contour and the shape of it is so weird. And this is not to discourage anyone. It's that if you're persistent, it'll come out good. And if you keep your head high and you're like, well, it's tough, but I know that in the end it'll come out good, then if you keep that kind of a mentality, like a positive mentality, then it'll be okay. And you'll get great results. And I just want to let you guys know that I wasn't perfect at detailing from the very start. I've only been doing this for a couple years now, maybe 3 or 4 with super detailing, and I've messed up some engines in my time. I had a whole nother Mohawk shell for this engine that just looks terrible now. I mean, in comparison to my current standard. So yeah, don't be afraid to experiment, guys.
Yeah, practice makes perfect, and at the very least, it makes good enough. Other question: are you going to get an HO3 too? Eventually.
I'd love to do it.
Yeah.
As well.
The problem with the HO3 is the way the motor and drive gears are set up. It's a very weird shaped motor, and it has to sit vertically in the cab, and the gear ratio is very fast. So it's a really difficult one to put a modern motor in. You can't just do it the same way you do the Mantuas. But I do want to get around to it eventually. It's just I've got so many projects to get around to eventually. It's pretty far down the list. Also, we've had like 2 super chats in the last half hour, or regular chats. So I'm thinking we'll probably want to wrap up soon because we're down to like 13 viewers.
Last comments in the chat, guys.
Yeah. All right, folks. Last call.
Hurrah.
Yeah. Last whatever you want to say. Speak now or forever hold your goldfish. HL Train says, yeah, my piping on my 462 is very janky and I should have done it differently. That's the nature of the beast. You're going to have... in order for something like that to be good, like Peter will back me up on this, I'm sure, you got to do it a few times to get it right. That's just the nature of how it goes.
With super detailing?
Yeah.
What was the question again?
Oh, it just says, yeah, my piping on my 462 is very janky and I should have done it differently.
It's okay.
Yeah,
it
honestly,
happens.
what
And
I'll
you can
say
always
is,
redo it.
what I'll say is, it's never too late to do it differently. You have no idea how many times painting stuff, I have gotten halfway through and gone, you know what, this sucks, I'm just gonna strip it all off and start again. I mean, like, the longer you do this, the more years you have under your belt of doing stuff like this a lot, the fewer tries things will take. But you're never going to always get things right on the first go. That's just not how it works. A certain amount of trial and error is part of the process, and when you're learning how to do it, there's going to be a bit more. So don't see it as a failure, just see it as a necessary step in getting where you want to go.
It's progress.
Yeah. And remember also, even if the model ends up in the same state that it started in or worse, at least you learned something. Because that's really what it's all about. Thanks for watching Gilded Rail. Thanks for watching HL Trains. Thanks, Chase. Yeah, I think we're like an hour later than I usually end these, so I suspect most people have gone to bed. But yeah, I think now might be a good time to wrap it up. We should do this again. We should try and do this again next week.
Try
if you're available.
I think I'll probably be around as long as school isn't kicking my butt. Yeah,
we should try to maybe. Honestly, we could think about starting these a little bit earlier as well.
Yeah, for sure. I'll try bringing my Dreyfus Hudson as well.
Yeah, definitely.
That'll be
If
nice.
we could maybe figure out a way to start it at like 8 or 8:30, that would give us more time for people to actually be watching. Anyway, folks, I think I'm going to call it there for the stream. Thank you all very much for watching. Thank you all very much for chatting and subscribing and posting in the community tab. And
I'll see you next time.
I'll see you all next time.
Like Dank Pot says.
Yeah. Yeah, and go watch Dank Pods. Cheers, everybody. Have a good one.
Okay, is that
I think that's it. I'm trying to figure out how to get this to stop streaming. I keep hitting the button to stop and it's not stopping. It just keeps going.
Huh.
All right, folks. Well, I guess I'm streaming forever now because it won't stop. Oh, I think... Is that it? I've got a spinning pizza of death on here.